And 101.9 FM, WFAN, New York.
Here we go! 6 o'clock, that's what I'm talking about. Nice job, Eddie Schizzeri. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Boomer Esiason, Craig Carton on the Fan, and of course, worldwide. CBS Sports Network got a great show for you today as we are back, refreshed, ready to rock and roll. New York Yankees baseball, killing it right now. 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox. They beat the Orioles on no rest, 2.5 games out. Sabathia tonight, and football is back 2 days away from the NFL opener. A few more days away from that, from the New York Jets being 9-point dogs to Buffalo, and the Giants opening up the year of the Eli against the Cowboys Sunday night. Good morning, Boomer. How are you today, buddy boy?
You know what? You're right, Craig. I am refreshed. I'm ready to go. And you are right in regards to it is the year of Eli because, and I'll say this tonight on Showtime, he's one of the guys that, I'm putting under a microscope because he's loaded. He's got guys around him, and you never think of Eli as, Tom Brady. You never think of him as Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger. You just always think of him, even though he's 199 games into his career, straight on, right? Never missed a game.
Yep.
You just, for some reason, and I don't want to use the word elite. Elite means, he's won Super Bowls, so he's elite in my eyes. But I've never really thought of Eli as the guy that makes the whole thing run.
Right.
And he has a locked and loaded defense. He's got, wide receivers all over the place that are going to make plays. Plus, he's going to have a very, very average, if not below average, running game.
It's on him.
So, he's got to be the guy that's going to be, and this is why you pay him what you're paying him. I always say, like Chuck Pagano, the coach in the Indianapolis Colts, is really, you talk about bad luck, it's kind of like Terry Collins.
Sure.
His best players are getting hurt.
Right.
And, Andrew Luck is not ready to play yet. He's not going to be there the opening weekend of the season. The Indianapolis Colts, I think, opened with 8 non-playoff teams. I mean, it's all there set up for them to have a great year, but
missing your
the guy you're
quarterback.
paying $24 million to is not there.
Right, exactly. But, the Giants guy is there.
Yep.
And, it seems like the way the Cincinnati Reds used to open up the baseball season, it's Giants and Cowboys week 1. It's going to be a great week. It's a great week, really, for a number of reasons. One, football's back, and football typically trumps all. And you have a legitimate Super Bowl hopeful. I'm not buying any of the nonsense that Odell might not play. He's playing. It is amazing, though, that Eli Manning and Brandon Marshall go into the season not having connected on a single pass.
Yeah.
But it's still, you're talking about 2 veterans. I'm sure they'll be fine. The New York Jets making trades still left and right, changing things up. I want to say this before I get to the Yankees. I give Mike Maccagnan a lot of credit, actually. The trade in which they sent Sheldon Richardson to Seattle, they got a second-round draft pick. Now, again, you talk about Kearse. Is he a good wide receiver? Now he's
fine.
a veteran.
He's going to be fine.
He's not 30 years old yet, and he'll be their starting, number 1 based on Enunwa being out. He got a starting wide receiver, okay, and a second-round draft pick.
Right. It's not about the wide receiver. It's about the draft pick.
That is a great deal for a team that was going to give him up in March anyway.
The Cleveland Browns paid $16 million for a second-round draft choice.
Right.
From the Houston Texans in taking Brock Osweiler.
They are not going to win a lot of games. They're 9-point underdogs against Buffalo, but that is a great move by a general manager getting himself ready for next year.
And, and the thing that he had to do is because he was going to try to trade him last year. You remember everybody was like, you got to take a 3rd round for him. You got to take a 3rd round for him.
Right.
And he waited and he waited and he waited. And I think he did Sheldon Richardson a huge favor. He did him a huge favor.
He sent him to a really good team.
He sent him to a great team, and he sent it to a team that do they need any more defensive players than they already have?
No, it's a good deal. I thought it was a good deal already.
I thought it was too. And, maybe the guy that loses out on all of this is Jermaine Kearse. But when you read what Jermaine Kearse has said, he has said everything that you want a guy like him to say. He could be miserable about coming to New York. He could be miserable about going from one of the best teams to one of the worst teams. And he has not said that. He has basically said, look, that's not even on my mind. I'm here to play football. I want to play football. Yeah. And blah. And he's saying all the right things. So whoever is out there questioning this trade It's got to have their head examined.
Great trade all around.
Because, you also talk about Sheldon Richardson, who I believe is still one mistake away from being out of the league.
Death penalty. Or alleged death penalty.
And he's going to want a huge contract next year.
They
and
were
he's
going to lose
highly
him in
motivated.
March for nothing.
That's what I figure. So at the end of the day, it's a good trade for a team that's going nowhere, at least this year. And if you watch college football over the weekend, they're going to have a number of choices to make if they get the first pick. I hope the Jets do not get the first pick.
You don't want them to have to choose which quarterback to take?
That's right.
Right?
That's
Is that
right.
the deal?
I almost
know
feel
Sam Darnold did not have a great first game.
Doesn't matter. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. A couple other, the UCLA kid.
Josh Rosen had a great fourth quarter.
Great fourth quarter.
And then you have the kid at Wyoming who got beat up pretty good by Iowa. But, for me, it's like, all right, let's not have the number 1 pick. Let's have the number 2 pick.
Right. Let someone else make the hard decision. We'll take whoever's left. Then, from a team really not going anywhere, doing good things this past week. And I'm saving the Yankees for last because they're the biggest story today. So I want to get to a couple other things first before we make it all Yankees. The New York Mets are doing something that I'm sorry. I know they're irrelevant. No one cares anymore. When something happens that you just don't get it and it doesn't make sense, like if you smell a rose and it smells like a skunk, you go back and go, what the heck's that? That rose should smell like a rose. If you have Matt Harvey, who the idea was you weren't going to pitch him at all this year after yet another setback, right?
Right.
And he comes back and he says he's healthy and you got 5 weeks left in the season, so you figure, all right, we're going to play him. Number one, it shows you how much they dislike him, number one, by making him pitch in Houston, first game after the terrible tragedy of the flood, and put him in that spot against a very good team, mind you, in Houston. And now, after getting shelled and throwing, 70 pitches in 2 innings, they're going to start him on short rest.
So what?
What the F are they thinking?
Who cares?
You got to care. It shows you once again, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
I would have shut him down completely.
As would I, but now you're going to pitch him on short rest?
He wants to pitch. They want him to pitch. Who cares, man? At the end of the day.
I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
I know it's Matt Harvey, and unfortunately for Matt Harvey, he is no longer Matt Harvey. He is completely somebody else. He might as well be like the 5th guy. He might as well be as the 5th guy in Vegas because that's where he is right now. That's where his career is right now. So he's got to try to rebuild himself. And the other thing, as an athlete, my heart goes out to these guys on the Mets. Matt Harvey would be one of them. The other guy is David Wright. I know you came on here and you could take solace in the fact that you said he would never, ever play again, and now he's got yet another problem with torn labrum that he's got to go in and get fixed, and another long rehab, and, he's probably not going to be ready for next year's spring training. It breaks my heart that guys like that, like Harvey, who we had so much hope for, has got to go through all this crap that he's gone through. And it also certainly breaks my heart that David Wright's career is essentially over.
Another surgery, rotator cuff surgery now. But there is good news, my friends. Very, 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 very good news. When all else fails, you can always count on the Pinstripes in the Bronx. With the season crumbling after some terrible loss to the Cleveland Indians, the Boston Red Sox came around. And as I've told you throughout the season, the Red Sox, for some reason, the Yankees play well against. They won the season series, as you know. They take 3 out of 4. They then go to Baltimore on no rest at all. They arrived in Baltimore at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. They played at 2 in the afternoon. Pop goes the Weasel. Because the Weasel goes pop. The Yankees are 2.5 games out. And that offense, maybe, is it possible that it figured itself out with Castro being back? Albeit Hicks on the DL, but Castro is back. Judge even got a big hit. Guys are doing what they're supposed to do. 11 games over 500 and 2.5 out. Yankee baseball.
And Chad Green. Don't forget Chad Green and what he did yesterday. The thing about the Yankees is this, that it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch them go through the Red Sox and the Orioles. But the reality is that there are 2 teams called the Indians and the Astros.
They ain't got to worry about them yet.
I know they don't have to worry about them yet. But, the Indians came in here and made mincemeat out of them.
I don't disagree one
and
bit.
It was like you could tell that the Indians were by far the better team. So while it's exciting right now and everything else, I still say if the Yankees, I still believe if they are totally healthy, that they can beat either one of those teams. I do believe that. But, they're a streaky bunch.
They're going to win on offense for sure. I mean, you have, obviously, you do have, we'll see what Sabathia does tonight. You have one legitimate stud right now.
You know how the Mets were the best of the worst?
Yeah, they beat the Phillies. That's the only team they can beat.
The Yankees are the worst of the best.
See, what is that? What is that?
I'm just saying.
I mean, day one back and it's already
I'm
shot
just saying.
taking.
I'm not shot taking. I'm just telling you the truth.
Are we at the gun range or we're taking shots? Why can't you
I'm just telling you the
embrace
truth.
the fact
I am
that this
embracing
team
the
has
fact.
figured themselves out?
They're playing against,
and they're scoring boatloads of runs and buckets.
Right.
And hopefully Sabathia will be great again tonight. Tanaka's giving you 3 straight good starts. Right? All of a sudden, you got yourselves, I know Sonny Gray's not won as much as we like him to, but you got yourselves a nice still thing going on there. 2.5 games out, 2 in the loss column. Time to embrace.
The Indians.
Time to embrace the pinstripes.
Just so you know, the Indians have won 12 games.
I ain't worried about the Indians no more. Yeah, you got to worry about the Boston Red Sox.
In their last 10. I'm just telling you that there are. They probably are the 3rd best team in the American League. I will give them that.
Again, that doesn't mean anything.
I will give them that.
You're going to give them that?
I'm going to give them that. I'll give them that right there, 3rd best team in the American League. No
one's saying they're as good as Houston.
Because I do believe they're better than the Red Sox, and I do believe that they're certainly better than the Orioles and the Twins.
Yep, they're not as good as Cleveland or Houston. No argument for me.
3rd best.
You got to win the division.
I'll give you the 3rd best.
Got to win the division.
3rd best in the American League.
Red Sox have now lost 3 in a row. The Yankees have won 3. Pop, 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 pop. 2 out in the loss column. At some point, you're going to have to get on board. Shut up, Rocco. We'll get to you.
What are you talking about? Someone to get on board.
You're going to have to get on board.
I'm the one that said that when Castro comes back, that lineup will be lengthened and everybody will be whole. The next thing you know, bam, 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 here we go.
Choo-choo.
I got
Get on board.
You
could be the caboose. You could be up front. I don't care where you want to sit. Don't matter to me.
3rd best team.
But get on board.
3rd best team.
The best team doesn't always win.
I know that.
You're aware of that.
Yes, I am.
The most money doesn't always win. The best team doesn't always win. Sometimes when you're playing the best at the right time, you could steal a title.
I will say the good news
the New York Giants.
The good news for the Yankees is 2 things. One is Severino.
He's a money good
right,
boy.
And the other one is Tanaka is starting to come back. Now, we all know about CC Sabathia and everything else, but Tanaka's coming back. I'll tell you what, it's going to be, if they don't win the division, they have yet another home playoff game via the wild card.
You got to celebrate that.
Yeah, be the 2nd wild card of all time in Yankee Stadium. That would be awesome. You got to go with Severino, don't you?
We're going to have that conversation now. I'm having that conversation.
Why not?
Because it's not what we do.
What do you mean it's not what we do?
That's not how we roll. We live in the moment. You've always told me you're talking a month ahead.
Yeah.
What happens to that dopey 1 pitch, 1 inning, 1 game scenario?
That was good yesterday because that's exactly what they needed to do, especially, after the tough travel.
By the way, I love this one. The New York Yankees filed not a grievance, but a request of Major League Baseball and the Orioles and the Red Sox that they wanted the Sunday night Red Sox game to be moved up, and they wanted yesterday's Oriole game to be moved back. So Major League Baseball changed each game by half an hour.
Yeah, but you know what also?
But you know
what also Major League Baseball did?
What's that?
They let Gary Sanchez play against the Red Sox.
Well, he just sat out against Baltimore.
They let him say, but we got a big home series against the Red Sox. We need all of our guys on deck.
You have to sit back.
It's amazing how Major League Baseball allowed that to happen.
They allowed it. They had to review the grievance.
I think the Tigers guys, they started their.
Well, they didn't appeal it, though, did they?
I'm sure. I'm assuming they did. I didn't know, but all I know is it's kind of like, it's Labor Day weekend. We're not in the offices.
Yankee baseball.
It's Yankee baseball. We don't want to get into them, but all of a sudden on Labor Day, no longer can he play.
Some good college football over the weekend as well. We'll get to that much later on today. It's
Great
Yankees, it's Giants, and of course you have. You have to mention it. We do live in New York. The Jets and the Mets as well. We have phone numbers for you to call if you're not used to doing that in the morning. 877-337-6666. Today is the official, no joke, on the calendar, the first day of our 11th year. So good to be able to have that in our back pocket and move forward. As Boomer said to me just moments before we came on the air, would be nice to do another 5. Now, I'm not saying I'm signing up for that, but nice to know that that's where your head is as we start year 11. And the guys really do appreciate that. That would put us at an even 15, and then we can shake hands and go our separate ways. If we decided to do that, we might invent something spectacular, like a brand new app, or go into business with podcasts, or I don't know, maybe do something that we're not going to tell anyone about because there's nothing there exactly for us yet. But we think because we're so special, there will be.
All right, it's 6:14 on the Fan, coming to you from the Investors Bank Studios here at WFAN.
I think we have some, you and I have a little Showtime later today, right, Inside the NFL? Is that today?
I do. Tonight is the premiere of Showtime, and Ray Lewis will be joining us tonight. You're not going to be there?
Shouldn't Ray come on with us today and just chat about his first show?
I don't know, maybe. Imagine getting 100%.
Boomer and Carton on the Fan. While we were away, Al Dukes and I went to a certain beach house to watch the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
Awesome.
Well, not awesome.
Not awesome.
No, not
Okay.
awesome at all. The DirecTV, they're dealing in New Jersey. They view that certain house as a commercial account, so it would have cost almost $3,000 to buy the fight. So the
So?
answer to that was no.
So what?
So then
Another government waste.
the question was, well, let's
Jesus
change it to a
God.
residential account.
Can we actually even
can't do
know
that.
what's going on again?
Can't do
You know,
that.
the fact that there
Can't
was
do
no, there was no communication, no understanding of what was going on. Just
You
goes
suck.
show you how
Well, the
it's going.
DEP owns it, not the governor.
I mean, it's just the whole thing.
So
just-
then it was, all right, let's download the fight on the UFC app. Well, that crashed.
Oh.
Never got on that. Oh, let's put it on the Showtime app. Now, Showtime, we had one success story, one failure. On the TV, no good.
Really?
Couldn't get the fight on Showtime on TV. On my phone, we were able to get it. So we watched the fight, 48 of us, all huddled around a couch watching it on my iPhone.
Come on.
You know, Al was there. Well, he
You
didn't fall
couldn't
asleep.
cast your screen to the TV?
They didn't have Apple TV.
Have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do time. It's a gay old
This is
time.
all about Al Dukes, of course, tells me he's showering at 3 o'clock. He showed up at 9, late.
Well,
and I
but
wanted,
in fairness, the fight didn't start till, what,
no,
12:30?
I'm on my way over for dinner. We're making dinner. I'm showering. I'll be out of the shower in 10 minutes. 5 hours later, he rolls
A
in.
lot happens in the shower, Craig.
And the poor folks at Grandma's house couldn't find the beach house. They drove around for 3.5 hours and brought us amazing ribs. So,
So it's slightly chaotic?
not for me. I did my part. I was
No,
on
but the
time.
whole
So by the
event.
way, how many buys did the Showtime and
The
UFC
unofficial number is just under 6.5 million.
No, people complaining all over the place that they couldn't get through on the app. They couldn't get through,
Which
on
is
this,
embarrassing.
They couldn't get,
You had the same
both
mistakes
the
with
UFC
May-
app, both the Showtime
They all
app, and
went
everything
down.
else. Everybody went down.
Like you knew Mayweather Pacquiao, you had the same thing. You had 2 years to prepare for this. Get it
what,
right.
what are these people
It's
doing, man?
technology.
What's going on?
I agree. It's embarrassing.
I mean, would that happen if it were Google? If that would that have happened if it had been Amazon?
No, it would have happened if it was CBS, but not, same
I mean, I
company,
thought these
right?
are all technology companies, aren't
They
they?
don't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, a lot of people are interested. I hope our servers don't crash. How about get more servers? Right? Did it ever dawn on you to spend a couple bucks to get more servers since you
there's
made
gotta
like
be
a gazillion dollars?
There's got to be lawsuits.
There it
coming out of
was.
this. Oh, there is. Okay.
Multiple class action lawsuits against everybody.
Oh, there you go.
Because as the great Saul Rosenberg said many, many years ago, sue everybody. What do you want to sue me for? Sue everyone.
Sue everyone.
Sue everyone.
Just sue,
And I
sue,
forgot
sue,
my
sue.
glasses. Anyway, Jerry Recco is here. Hi, Jerry.
Well, good morning. We are brought to you by Direct. A whole lot of energy to start yesterday because they got in really late. I know. Wah, wah, wah. Keep up with
Stop
that.
bitching about it. Let's be
Blah, blah,
professional
blah,
athletes
blah,
and
blah,
score
blah,
7
stop.
runs.
Any energy because we get in so early.
Oh, stop it. Exactly. Well, so they were down 3-0, but the offense came alive, and then they flew right by.
And the right hand of Bundy ready to deal. Swung on, drilled to right. It is high. It is far. It is off the top of the scoreboard wall. And Didi, they're going to call it a home run. How do you like that?
How do you
How do
do?
you like that? Yes, indeedy. It probably hit a fan on top of the scoreboard wall. It is a 2-run home run for Didi. Didi Gregorius makes Yankee fans euphorious.
Oh, Johnny's ready
John
to go.
Sterling.
Stretch run for the broadcasters.
Can I ask you, is that a new one?
Is that
that
no,
new?
No,
No, he's
those,
used that
he's
before?
always done
Okay.
that.
All
Didi
right,
makes Yankee fans, Gregorius makes them euphorious.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a 7-4 win for the Yankees yesterday. Gregorius, the first Yankee shortstop to have consecutive 20 home run seasons.
Really?
And
the first Yankee shortstop ever, huh?
Ever.
and he was the
wow.
guest on the OK John segment on The Fan.
Okay, John, I'm down here with Didi Gregorius, who just got the home run ball as Tony Pena. Gracias. Okay. Tony Pena just gave you the ball, your 20th home run.
Yes, he did. He just handed it to me.
That's right.
So we're
Of
having a
all the
laugh.
dramatic things, that's Bente Pelotas. 20 balls.
How did you come up with pelotas?
Gracias, Tony Pena.
Funny.
Didi Gregorius here as Tony Pena. No, I'm sorry. Didi is Didi and it's Tony Pena. Grande pelotas. Por su amigo. Sí. Es verdad. Grande pelotas. Yo tengo.
That's me. Grande El Norwegian.
Big balls.
The Grande Norwegian.
Grande Blanco pelotas.
Norwegian.
Huge white balls.
Yes.
See, there we go.
Here is Didi post game. The swing just working right now for
If I
him.
hit home runs, I hit home runs, but I'm not going out there to try to hit them. But it's nice to have it also.
And you've been calling for this guy, Starlin Castro.
Yeah.
He's back. He's healthy. Go ahead, 2-run homer in the 5th inning, an RBI
He's never been the
single in the
forgotten
6th
man.
as
That's
That's why he
well.
also had the root
Stud.
canal the other day. Missed the
Yeah.
game because of a root canal.
Here was Girardi on his middle infield.
Didi's hit got us going, and then Cassie has a huge day as well, so it's good to see.
It certainly it was good to see. Gary Sanchez began serving a suspension, reduced from 4 games to 3. Chad Green, the win, 2 1/3 innings in relief. Did have 4 strikeouts. You got Sabathia and Hellickson tonight. We'll have it on the fan. Yankees now 2.5 behind Boston because
Two in
they
the loss
last
column.
night
Two in
lost
the
to
loss
the Blue. 2.5.
2 in the loss column.
Yeah, and 2.5.
That typically when it's
I hate that because they didn't win the game yet. So they're
No, but
2.5
typically
out.
what you guys in your position do, like
No.
if you like the team, you reference the loss
You
column.
guys.
When you don't like the team, you
Just
make it
like
seem worse.
you're doing right now.
I'm making it seem
I'm
real.
just factually telling you they're 2.5 out. That's it. Nothing else. They lead Minnesota by 3 games for the first wild card. But here is why the Red Sox lost another game in the standings. They played Toronto last night at Fenway and got beaten pretty good.
Pitch drilled to right field deep. Back for it, Mookie Betts. He's just pulling up because there goes another one for Rafi Lopez.
Yeah, a home run there. And Rick Porcello, who won the Cy Young last year, has not had a good, although he's pitched better of late, has not had a good season. I think it's a 16th loss. 10-4 was the final last night. Kendrys Morales and Jose Bautista homered as well. Just quickly, the Mets beat the Phillies 11-7. Enough on that. You have the David Wright situation, though, rotator cuff surgery. Here's Terry Collins. He's not quitting yet.
We all say, why would he go through it? Well, because he thinks he has to and should. And you got to stand behind him and say, go get him. And certainly you all hope for the best when he.
I know what the Mets are saying. Enough's enough. After the surgery, let's call it a career. We want our 80% back.
How old is David right now? Is he 34-ish? 33, would you say?
Let's play a game.
35?
Don't look, Boomer. Don't look, Boomer.
Okay.
Don't look.
All right, stop.
I'm going to say
look.
34, but I don't know.
Don't look. Now, here's the question. Al Dukes, for breakfast, courtesy of friends of mine this morning, how old is David Wright?
Now, I know this. I
You know
read
this.
it. Yeah.
So that I should not ask
Don't
you.
ask me.
All right, handsome.
Cheating.
For breakfast, courtesy of friends of mine.
I would say
this morning.
34.
You would say 34.
Yeah.
All right. And what would you say, Eddie?
I know the answer.
Why do you guys happen to know the answer? Just out of curiosity. Like, why would December 20th be a day that you guys would keep in your little craniums there? Seriously, you guys.
When I was reading about all of his troubles, it struck me how not old he was.
He'll be 35 in December, if I'm not mistaken.
So he is 34.
He was born in 1982.
Like, if you were him, why not try it again? You got a lot of money coming your way.
Yeah.
It's the arm now. Why not give it a go? Like, what else does he have to do?
Nothing. I would.
Right.
Boomer can speak this better than I can, having played. But I get the competitive nature of not wanting to go out in these terms and giving up.
I'm in pain all the time.
Shut up. But there is a point where a doctor at some point has had to have said to him, do you want to be able to walk when you're 50 and play with your kids and bend over and play golf and swim and all that stuff?
I agree with that.
Like, he had neck surgery, back surgery, shoulder surgery.
Absolutely.
But we agree it's also not football. It's not hockey. It's baseball. And if he can get himself right, why not give it a go?
Why not?
Now it becomes
Why
selfish.
not? Why not, David?
It's true. In 2015, he played 38 games. 2016, he played 37 games.
Right. Yeah. Well, the slide is when they realized he had stenosis, when he slid into second
I'm just
base.
saying, the last 3 years have basically
How about let
been
the organization move forward to third base?
Well, then they'd have to cut him.
Whatever. They're going to pay his insurance company's paying it anyway. He's
Right,
cheap
I
bastards.
guess
Let's go.
like a lot of people are like, oh, why not try?
I understand that aspect of it. The guy not wanting to be told his career's over. I respect it a great deal. As Boomer said, you're heartbroken for the guy.
Sure.
And you are. And, he did everything the right way as a player in New York City, everything. His body broke down on him. At some point, sorry, do something else.
You'd be amazed how often I hear that.
Well, listen, I love you, but I'm not going to lie to you.
The Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 13-0. LA has hit the skids. J.D. Martinez hit 4 home runs in this game. Arizona has won 11 straight, and they're still 30 games out in the West.
That's right. A 12-game win streak for
The
Cleveland.
Indians, they've won 12 straight.
Yahoos.
Yep. They beat the Yahoos.
And the Mets can only beat the Phillies.
Once. Let's see if they can get back-to-back wins. Week 1 in the NFL is upon us. You got the Patriots and the Chiefs Thursday night. You've also got Hurricane Irma, which may, don't know if it will.
Not this weekend, next week. I think that I was reading.
Is
about
that
this
for
morning.
next week? I thought they were their games this week. All right, well,
I think Jerry melded 2 stories there and didn't give you a chance to understand what he was saying. That's not your fault. It's Jerry's.
Right, okay.
What did I say?
The Irma's going to potentially impact games in Florida this weekend.
Right.
But you melded it with Kansas City, New England. You threw Boomer off.
My mistake. No, it's not my mistake. I apologize. Yes. I actually didn't miss you the last week and a half at all.
Next week. I didn't think it was.
No, because I thought it was supposed to hit landfall starting this week, like later in the week, by Saturday, and I thought that they might be moving. I know nothing. Well, actually, I know more than you bastards. I got this right, and you guys got this wrong. I suck.
You're like a meteorologist all of a sudden.
I'm not. I just read the story about the hurricane, and apparently it's going to start affecting their practice schedule maybe Wednesday.
Who knows?
So they could anyway. It's something to keep an eye on.
They've already declared emergencies
State of emergency
all throughout the Florida. I know that. I'm sure that they're going to be doing it in Georgia, North Carolina, and everywhere else next.
You have to imagine so, right? I have a cousin, Irma.
Why do they wait? You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to wait. Do it now.
Well, what if the track of the storm takes a long time?
All right, so better safe than sorry.
Right.
I mean, it's all about bringing the federal government involved, getting them involved and getting the money there, as we've obviously found out with Hurricane Harvey, and the pictures there are just absolutely
disgusting.
By the way, the J.J. Watt fundraiser is almost at $20 million now.
Well, let's hope it's used the best way possible.
Now,
I will say there's a great Chick-fil-A story in here. Now, I don't know if you know about Chick-fil-A at all. So Chick-fil-A is a privately owned company. They're very religious. They don't open on Sundays. They're religious beliefs. They got the great billboards with the cows. You guys know who they are. So an older gentleman, I don't want to over-exaggerate his age, but he's in his 70s for sure, maybe even older. He calls Chick-fil-A. He's in Houston during this terrible storm. And he and his wife, elderly as well, they're trapped in the house. So he calls Chick-fil-A and he orders some chicken. And he goes, I'll have 2 of this, 1 of those, and a boat if you have it. So he's trying to, keep a happy face in this terrible tragedy. The manager of the Chick-fil-A happened to have a boat and knew 2 guys with jet skis. They jet skied to the guy's house.
Did they bring the chicken with them?
That I didn't see.
But they brought the boat.
Chick-fil-A extricated these 2 people from their home.
That's awesome.
On a call. So there's great stories like that.
The amazing thing is, and we lived through it here at Hurricane Sandy and everything, not to the extent in terms of the flooding that's going on down there in southeast Texas, but,
well, to be fair, some people did.
Well, I'm not saying, but you see the enormity of it.
Yes.
The enormity of what's happening in southeast Texas, I mean, it's horrible. And the floods are the worst part, I mean, it's just like everything is, as we all know, from living here and living in Lindenhurst or down, in Staten Island, the shore of Staten Island, a store of the shores down there in South Jersey. So we lived through it. But what I'm saying is that in times of tragedy, it really just goes to show you what this country's all about.
Agreed.
That we're not some fringe lunatic group on one side or the other, that the far majority of this country, 98% of the people, want to help each other. And it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what race you are. I mean, it doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat or an independent. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
In the time of tragedy, you see the best that America has to offer. In the case of J.J. Watt, he had 10 truckloads of stuff donated to him on top of the $20 million that he's going to end up raising. And you and I also realize what kind of problems that creates.
We've done it.
Not to that extent.
Level, but during
mackerel.
Sandy, we try to get involved and send where does the truck go, who's responsible for the truck. So we've dealt with it, not on that level, but we dealt with it.
The amount of stuff that he's got to deal with now, which God bless him.
I think it's his mom, right?
Well,
did he say?
God bless him, because and God bless the football fans that listen to him on Twitter.
Yep, and Ellen.
And how many great football fans there are that will write a $10 check, a $20 check, and then when you add it all up, it's over $20 million.
Anything else, Jerry, or are we good to go?
What a story.
We can be good to go for running out of time, yes.
We're not really running out of time. We just got started.
Well, then I will tell you the Tennessee beat Georgia Tech in 2 overtimes last night. I watched some of the highlights. Pretty wild. 42-41.
Yep.
Stopped a 2-point conversion at the end to win it, so that was pretty wild. And you got the quarterfinals at US Open.
Unfortunately, the second half of the Florida State-Alabama game wasn't great.
Well, their quarterback got hurt at Florida State.
He's out with a knee injury for the year.
UCLA, Texas A&M was crazy. Yep. You know, the fact that Baylor lost to Liberty.
Yep. That USC game, by the way, you see the final score, you have no idea how that game went down. USC scored a touchdown with maybe 6 or 7 minutes left, I think it was, to go up by a touchdown. They won by 18. It was 49-31, but if you didn't see it, you'd be like, oh, just a blowout win. They damn near lost that game.
You know, really the great story out of that particular game was the blind long snapper at the end of the game. USC put him in, and there was no pass rush from the other team.
It was great.
And everything went really well. And then, the other thing, too, is University of Maryland goes down to Texas and beats the Longhorns. And what was that face? What's that? All of a sudden for the Terps.
That was very impressive.
That was.
Very impressive.
That was a great game. That started the whole weekend off, essentially.
And they won the game with their backup.
That's exactly right.
Boomer and Carton on the fan. Lots cooking. We'll get your calls on
what is this?
the Yankees.
Give me.
He didn't seem to care.
I mean,
I'm just saying, that was a good win for Maryland.
How'd it go with Rutgers?
Rutgers,
they played a very good first half.
They played well.
They did. And they
watch part of that game.
They had no offense in the second half at all. Really no offense in the game.
Great opening drive.
Brought to you by
the whole offense for the game.
Yeah. Right.
But the war by the shore, they played them a lot better than last year. Rutgers football's back.
All right, Ticket Drop brought to you by your local tri.
For the next 48 hours, but there's a new wrinkle to it that's actually jet-related, although not the Jets'
that's interesting.
fault, of course.
No, I'm going to make sure that this Maryland football helmet stays here until we lose.
I noticed that.
We've got a huge game against Towson.
You think you can handle Towson? That's a letdown game.
I hope the host better not be a letdown game.
That is a letdown game. That's all that is right there.
We'll see.
Here's Chris in Jersey on the fan. Chrissy Bones, what's going on, buddy?
Gentlemen, how are you? Welcome back.
All right,
Thank
Chris,
you.
what's happening?
Listen, just really quick, I'm a huge Yankee fan. I'm a Gary Sanchez fan as well, but I can make a case that the Yankees won that game because Gary Sanchez was suspended yesterday. If Jerry were to look at and review the game, especially over the last couple of innings, there were at least 3 or 4 batters on Baltimore who struck out. And I tell you, though, based on, unfortunately, how Gary...
You think it would have been pass balls or et cetera, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You see 3 or 4 of those strikeouts in the 8th and 9th inning, it was only a 50-50 chance that if it was Gary, he would have held on to the ball.
Listen, I don't know why you'd attack Gary Sanchez. I don't know why you'd attack Gary Sanchez today. It doesn't seem to make any sense.
Well, I'm not attacking him, but lately Gary has given and Gary has taken away.
Listen, I agree with that statement, but you're talking about a young player who offensively carried the load when Aaron Judge wasn't getting any hits. So I would look at it where, listen, Gary Sanchez is not the perfect player for sure, but he has shown you that when he's on fire offensively, there's no one better.
The thing I think that frustrates Yankee fans like Chris and everybody else is just like the lackadaisical defensive,
I don't want to say lackadaisical.
Yeah, but he doesn't like even the other night when they were playing the Red Sox and, Severino's lighting it up, right? And Severino's ball's moving all over the place. I'm not saying it's easy, but, he got a ball go right through his legs.
Listen.
I mean, you can't do that. You got to get down on your knees. And I don't know. Look, I'm not a catcher. I never was a catcher. So I understand that there's all the certain fundamentals, the way to block balls and all that other stuff. But that would probably, I would imagine, be one of the top priorities for the Yankees in the offseason, maybe to bring Jorge Posada in or whatever.
Like a tutorial.
To work with him.
Joe Girardi could teach him, can he?
He could too, but sometimes a little younger, Jorge Posada is a legendary Yankee and all this stuff. Bring him in, maybe work with Gary and just teach him how to be a little bit better of a defensive,
His bat's
catcher.
So big though, man.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but I don't want to see him as a DH. You want to see that kid with that arm?
I agree.
As a catcher.
I agree 100%, but
dude, it is obvious. It's obvious for everybody. For those of us who are not catchers, we see it. And it's frustrating.
He's a liability
when the ball goes through his legs and stuff like that. And he is a liability, but he shouldn't be. Those plays need to be made. He needs to be more in tune. And the other thing, too, is calling a game, framing a pitch,
that I can't
all those
speak
little
to.
things.
I think. Listen, I don't know.
That's
I'm
all
not sure if
part of
he's
being
good
a
or bad
catcher,
at
though.
that. Clearly, defensively, he's not that good. but he's so important offensively. You know, the dude's a 40 home run a year type of guy.
I know, and believe me, if Sandy
and it's not
Alderson,
like he's batting 215 either.
Sandy Alderson would love him because he doesn't care about defense. Which I hate. I just
because you give the player the out of not having to care about
and I'm like,
it.
that's crap, man. I want guys to be as good defensively as they are offensively, and I don't want their defense to be in any way inhibited negatively by a slump
or the fact that it's accepted that it's not up
should
to
never be
up to
accepted.
standard.
Should never be accepted.
I agree. Here's Paul in the Bronx on the Fan. Hey, Paul, what's going on, buddy?
Hello.
What is up?
What's happening, Paulie?
And congratulations on the beginning of your 11th year.
I know. Thank you so much. I want to thank the Academy, of course. I want to thank the NAB, of course, the listeners, all the people that made it possible.
Yes, I called last week. I finally got through. And lucky I got through today. I couldn't believe it. You guys did a great job filling in for you, all of them.
And Maggie and Moose and Maggie and Moose and Kim and then Moose. I mean, it was really good.
They were great. I got to even call in and speak to them. And this is what we spoke about. I want to get your take.
Sure.
If the Yankees don't make it this year, I feel like I never expected them to win anyway this year. So this year was a success, whether we win or lose.
No, well, not at this point. Not at this point, Paul. You know why? Because at this point, you've added Sonny Gray, you've added Kane Lee, you've added Garcia, you've added Robertson.
I agree.
So when you make trades to bring guys in like that, to get a couple starters to bolster your bullpen, you're no longer just a success. Now you're in it for the real deal, and the real deal is to try to get past either the Indians or the Astros, which to me will be the real question as to whether or not the Yankees go deep into the
They went for it, is what Boomer's getting at, Paul.
Yes.
And by going for
agree.
it,
But mentally, I have to think that way because otherwise I'll get upset.
No. Come on.
Paul, you got the best. You got the best situation.
I don't have to get upset this year if they don't make it. I'll put that in my mind.
You know what you're doing? That's a Met mentality. That's a loser's mentality.
I don't want to do that.
That's what you did.
Oh, stop taking on
That's the
Mets now.
mentality.
Why did you go there? Why do you have to go there?
Because you're
I just remember the Yankees is still only the third best team.
You're lowering expectations.
The Yankees are only the third best team. But I will say,
it's a lousy mentality.
Fan, but when the Rangers make a trade, around the trade deadline, and they bring in a guy to bolster the defense, the offense, a backup goalie, whatever it is, I'm jacked because my team is telling me that they're in.
They're going for it.
As opposed to the Mets who sold off everybody.
Now, you can't say... By the way, I would tell you, based on the moves that Cashman made...
He made great moves.
The wild card's not enough either. You got to get into an actual series.
Sure you do.
You put one and out.
You brought in
unacceptable.
2 starters and 2 relievers, dude.
Yeah, one and out does not work for the franchise or the fan base.
Plus, this is the Yankees you're talking about.
Right. It'd be like it's like some people just accept mediocrity.
Yeah.
And they get comfortable in it. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so we're not very good. There's no one expecting much of us.
Yeah.
So as long as we don't do anything stupid, we can stay here forever. Just kind of being we don't suck, but we're never going to be great. Some people adhere to that, like Velcro, whack, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Some people strive for greatness.
I don't like this.
And you can fail miserably in your attempt, but at least you attempted to be great. A lot of people just status quo. They're good with the quo. That's their nickname. Quo in the afternoons. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm okay just being one of a group. I don't like that.
Nah.
I'd rather flame out miserably, but go for it. That's my...
Well, I think the Yankees are going for it.
That's right, which is why not getting to the ALCS don't work.
And that's why I think the Giants are going for it. Don't you feel that way?
The New York Giants? Yes. I believe they're going for it. Yes, they are. They have no running game currently, but you'll get Paul Parkins, right?
Yeah.
Figure it out. But with the Giants, here's the difference. With the New York Yankees...
The Jets should trade...
If I may.
Okay,
I was in the middle of a thought.
I got
it. Okay?
All right.
If the New York Giants, we can fairly say, it's all on Eli. It's the year of the Eli.
It's the year of the Eli.
Like in China, they have, as you know, like the year of the cock, the year of the dragon, the year of the... What else is it? The snake.
The year of the what?
Huh?
What did you say?
The rooster. It's a cock.
Oh.
The year of the cock. What year were you born in?
Certainly wasn't the year of the cock.
No, it might have been. What year were you born in?
I don't think so.
What year were you born in?
61.
1961.
Yes.
Chinese year of the...
By the way, the best part about the
year
NFL...
of the ox.
The ox, there you go.
You were born year of the ox.
What were you born?
Okay, that's a very good question.
The best thing about the NFL today, this weekend, when you turn it on, I'm the second youngest guy on the panel. I am right in the wheelhouse of those millennials that we're trying to reach.
Well, how's that possible?
Because I am.
I was born in the year of the cock.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
So this is the year of the Eli for the New York Giants.
Okay.
With the New York Yankees, you can't say there's one guy.
No, you can't. But I will say this about Eli.
The Giants, one guy. The Yankees, multiple guys.
I thought it was Eric Flowers, but therefore Eli actually reading this morning in the paper his comments. He's expecting to have his best year ever, and I would say so because I think he's going to have to. He is going to have to. Rely on a lot of short passes. He's got to be the man this year.
5,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns.
About 5,000
5,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns.
I'll take 4,500 yards, and I'll take 35 touchdowns.
Now, this year, 2017, is also the year of the cock. It runs in a 12-year cycle.
Eulakaka.
That's right.
Right. Get a cockatoo.
Eddie, what year were you born in?
67, year of the Ram, I believe.
You're 50 this year?
Yeah.
Did that happen already?
Cock-nosed.
I know you don't talk about. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Eddie Scazzeri.
Cock-sacky.
We should have had a quinceañera party.
Eulakaka. Honestly, I thought you were closer to 60.
Oh, in 1967, you were born, just in case you know, the year of the goat. Not greatest of all time. It could be a sheep or a goat. That one.
What about Al?
Al's 69 as well. He's the year of the cock. So we've got two cocks, a rooster, and a goat.
Eulakaka.
Where was Recco born?
I'm not a rooster.
Two cocks.
An ox.
And
a goat.
And where was Jerry Recco born? What year was he born in? He seems a little younger than the rest of us.
Yeah, I think he's like 4 or 5 years younger than
to the
us.
show where he can't run in and tell us what year is. Monkey. Is it that difficult for him to monitor the show that he's working on?
The monkey.
He's here the monkey.
Tends to be a little bit hairy on the back.
There you go. Monkey.
You're the monkey.
So now we've straightened that out.
How many different animals do they have?
Again,
12.
Question. 12.
Similar to the Zodiac. Not
It's
exactly.
a Chinese zodiac is what it is.
Correct.
So here in America, we have Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. They have animals.
Jerry was born in 1974.
Wow. Monkey. 7 years younger than Eddie Scazzeri. Holy cow. 1974 was the year of the tiger. There you have it. Roar. Meanwhile, later this week, I think we're announcing, tell me if I'm wrong, I hate to put something out prematurely, that we're bringing back the Boomer and Carton survivor pool or suicide pool, depending on what do you want to call it. Is that accurate, Eddie? Are there reads for that?
I think they're getting the website ready as we
they're getting
speak.
the website ready. All right.
Are they aware that there's a game on Thursday?
Maybe not.
I was told that we're doing it again this year. Big sponsor, big giveaway, the whole thing.
Sure, yeah.
But I've not heard it. I listened to the station a lot.
It would be nice to be able to, start promoting that now.
Well, you never have to sign up unless we're not going to count Thursday's game.
I guess they're not counting Thursday's game.
Yes. Which, by the way, already I can tell you, I like Kansas City with the points.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Why would you say that?
Why would you ever say that? Great question.
Why is this point spread is talking to you?
I also like the New York Jets with the points this week.
Well,
Tyrod gets a real quarterback.
Well, Tyrod Taylor's in concussion protocol, and the regular season hasn't even started yet.
So anyway, Boomer and Carton on the Fan. All your calls coming up. I'm going to tell you this crazy story about Ezekiel Elliott as he awaits the decision from the arbitrator. Is it arbiter or arbitrator? Arbiter? Arbiter. I think it's an arbiter is what it is. Anyway, I'll tell you a story that it's Jet related, and you might actually start thinking that he won't be suspended for 6 games. I'll explain coming up in a minute.
All right. Is your business getting...
Carton on the Fan. What's this? Why not? Have some fun. So, real quick before I get to your calls. The Ezekiel Elliott decision, I imagine, is going to be today. NFL arbiter is going to let you know what the story is with the suspension. Now, the NFL, just real quick, the NFLPA went to court to try to get a temporary restraining order against the suspension. The NFL just went to court and filed papers saying, how can they ask for what they call a TRO, temporary restraining order, on a decision that hasn't been made yet? So that, of course, gets thrown out of court.
Well, the reason the NFLPA did that is they wanted to do it down there in Texas. They wanted to get in front of a Texas judge.
Got to wait anyway.
Much like, albeit Berman here turned in favor of Tom Brady.
Still got to wait. I mean, you can't appeal a decision until the decision's made.
I got it.
So here's the dealio. You say to yourself, all right, well, what's the story with him?
And it's kind of interesting because the NFL knows when the decision will be made. So they could actually file suit in New York, much like they did for Brady. Remember
Well, they'd have to wait for the appeal, and then they could answer.
It's just a pain in the ass.
So this the gal that is a questionnaire, and I do believe something happened physically. I don't think there's any disputing on that.
Well, he's claiming rough sex.
Okay, so something happened, whether it was rough consensual sex or he actually got
That's
physical.
basically what he's claiming.
I don't know the answer. Something obviously happened. He's acknowledging something did happen. He's giving you the answers to why.
I would tell you the fact that he pulled the girl's shirt down at the Mardi Gras parade would be enough for a suspension.
Here's the extra little rub to the story that's jet related.
Oh, jet related.
So now you remember when the Lucky Whitehead situation happened, and the Dallas Cowboys, despite being in their players' corner every time across the board, they dismissed and cut Lucky Whitehead before anything came out to prove or exonerate him. And it turned out that the case against him was total crap.
Well, mistaken identity.
He was not guilty of anything. And yet they cut him. The New York Jets, of course, pick him up. He gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. Why would the Dallas Cowboys cut a guy who's going to be their best punt returner without any proof of him doing anything wrong? Well, inquiring minds decided to look into that little scenario. Here's why. The gal that Ezekiel was dating, Tiffany Thompson, I think is her name, she wanted to get back at Ezekiel, I guess, for him dumping her. Well, how do you do that? You sleep with a fellow cowboy. In this case, the allegation is Lucky Whitehead. And Ezekiel Elliott told the investigators for the NFL in this sordid case that anytime anything good happened for him professionally, big game, big win, couple touchdowns, whatever it was, she would send him text messages to bust his chops. In one case, I think it was November or December of last year, she sent him 15 text messages right after he had a big game. Those text messages involved her relationship with Lucky Whitehead. Why was Lucky Whitehead cut from the Dallas Cowboys? Because he was not getting along with their star player, who admitted it pissed him off when this gal sent him text messages. The guy's a teammate. Now,
why did he just change his phone number?
Right? But that's why the Jets got Lucky Whitehead, because allegedly he was messing around with this, I think, am I right, Tiffany Thompson,
Yes,
right?
yes.
With Tiffany Thompson, who had been messing around with Ezekiel Elliott. Jeez. Crazy. So that's the story with that. So now he's hurt anyway, ain't going to play. But
so now what happens?
Now we wait for this this arbiter to come out today and announce what he's going to announce.
I can't imagine him reducing it. I just can't.
I could. The guy's name's Harold Henderson, by the way.
Yeah. And Harold Henderson's been around the NFL for a long time. No, there's not. I just don't see him doing it.
Maybe not.
I mean, because you got to take into account what happened in Mardi Gras, too.
I think you got to take account of everything, right?
Yes.
It's a body of work. Here's Roger.
They're saying that the latest issue. What's this?
Hold on, Roger, scuba diving. Roger, hold on one sec, pal.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the latest thing does not count in any of this, and that was that supposedly that bar fracas he got in.
Right, because
that
again,
is
no
not a part of
charges, no
this.
nothing. It wasn't him. That
whole
right?
thing, and who have somebody buried that?
Doesn't it kind of have to, if you're the arbiter, or in the back of your head, aren't you like, well, he pulled down the girl's top. He got physical with the girl, whether it's consensual sex or he rough how
I just don't.
And now he got in a fight.
After what happened, the other thing too is I don't get anything. This whole thing, they handed down this 6-game suspension,
right?
And I don't know. I just don't seem to feel the intensity that you felt around Ray Rice.
Well, because the whole thing with the video, man, right?
Plus, this is also a significant suspension.
Right, it's 6 games right out of the gate, as opposed to what Ray originally
By the
got.
way, everybody is saying that this is the commissioner. It's not the commissioner.
Not. They made, if you remember,
they brought
they
in
have
Lisa
independent.
Friel. They brought in everybody else that to handle stuff like this. The commissioner, they want him away from this.
No, they did that at post Ray Rice. That's
Yes,
right.
exactly.
We met Lisa's son. Remember that?
Yes.
At an appearance, and he was walking us through his mom's experience. I didn't realize. I mean, you talk about above reproach, beyond reproach, whatever the term is.
Yes.
I mean, let her do what she does. They'll get it right. 9 out of 10 for sure.
I would think at least 9 out of 10, and she'll figure out what the hell went on, because the amount of stuff that I'm sure she was exposed to when she was in her public office.
There's some disgusting things, by the way.
Yeah.
Here's Mike in Dumont. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Boomer and Cart, what is up?
What is up?
Welcome back from our little vacation. I hope you guys are all rested.
Oh, fantastic. You got it.
Listening to morning radio all week. They're good, but they ain't you guys.
That's very kind of you to say that.
I wanted to call in about David Wright. I agree with you, Carton, but I wanted to bring up Matt Harvey. Watching Matt Harvey, I know he's only had 8 games back, and he's playing, but I feel like he's not the ace that I don't think he'll be the ace that he ever was.
I think if I was a gambling man, I'd bet on your opinion for sure, but you never know. I'm surprised that they brought him back and let him dictate pitching. I'm further surprised that they're going to pitch him on 3 days rest now. It makes no sense to me.
Me too.
I also am surprised that when you bring a guy back after all the time has been out, you decide to pitch him in Houston in the very first event post the flood. When I think it is a divorce waiting to happen. I really do.
And because he's just getting crushed, like you said, against Houston. I mean, that man went up, and he looked like he was a boy playing a men's game.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. And, the Mets are going in a totally opposite.
Well, wait, I had to say this. We're wasting time. We're wasting my valuable time, Boomer's time, the audience's time. If you want to give me a little David Wright today, that's cool. You want to give me a little Matt Harvey today? Cool. That's it. And listen, it's a joke of a franchise.
It's not a joke of a franchise.
No, it's a joke of a franchise.
No, it's not. It was in the World Series 2 years ago. When was the last time the Yankees were in the World Series? Can't even answer that. So long ago.
It's been a long time, man.
Yeah. The Mets were in it 2 years ago. So the Mets are doing what every baseball
squirrel,
team.
high nuts.
Hey, the Mets are doing what the White Sox are doing. They're doing what all these other teams, the Phillies are doing. You just trade away your guys and then you try to rebuild for next year.
Hey, by the way, speaking of nut. How did our boy do with? Was there any Notre Dame TV for him this weekend or no?
Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
They hosted Temple.
No, I know. I didn't. What I'm saying is, I didn't see any of the Notre Dame pregame stuff. How did our boy Nut do?
Oh, I didn't watch.
That'd be Chris Sims, yeah.
Chris
post
Sims.
or half or anything.
Was he talking about how they're giving those $100 handshakes out or what?
I didn't see it.
Every school does it.
Every school does it. Anyway,
I like you a lot.
I like you a lot. Not enough to watch you on TV this past weekend, but it's a holiday weekend. It's next weekend.
I checked out the game. I wasn't interested.
I mean,
in the
but
pre-half
Temple
and
is not
post.
competitive. Let's be honest.
That's true.
I mean, it's like playing Towson. Like why? I mean, really?
You got to
that counts as a game.
I'll tell you the same thing about Howard. And what did Howard do? Howard went out
and beat UNLV, 40-point underdogs.
That's what I'm talking about. But you can't take anybody for granted.
45.
Craig. One snap.
Don't do that.
What?
Don't do that.
One snap.
Don't
one
reference
series,
the
one
Howard
quarter,
UNLV
one play.
game as a one snap. And by the way, I love people saying Cam Newton's brother. By the way, he threw for 100 yards.
Yeah, but he runs all over the place. He's great. He's a great college quarterback. He's not nearly as big.
He's like
as Cam
5'11".
is.
He's
Yes.
like Al size.
Right.
Much more physical, of course, than Al.
Much more athletic.
But yeah, they were plus 45 against UNLV. If you bet the money line,
was the spread talking to you?
No. Which, by the way, I'm surprised they even put a money line on it. Typically, well, I'd say typically, but a lot of times north of 40, they don't money line a game
And
because
also,
of something like this.
a lot of times when it's FCS versus FBS,
They
you'll
don't
see
put it
no
up at
line.
all.
Right.
Correct. So for some reason, they line the game. Howard plus 45. And if you bet the money line, meaning you're just taking them to, they got to win the game outright. The spread don't mean nothing. A $100 wager on Howard would have paid $55,000. So let's say you're a Howard alum, you got a lot of dough, and you happen to be in Vegas. You say, you know what? I'm drinking, having a good time in Vegas. I went to Howard. I graduated Howard. I'm putting 1,000 smackaroos on my alma mater to win it's outright. $550,000 return.
That'd be great.
How great would that be?
I don't think it happened.
That's, by the way, how Jimmy the Greek became famous.
Really?
Jimmy the Greek was a well-known gambler in Vegas, obviously. Now, the question is, how did a well-known gambler in Vegas ever make it to the NFL today, right? With Brent Musburger, Phyllis George, and Irv Cross, the original cast, I believe.
That's right. We're starting our 50th year on the NFL Today this year.
Let's have a celebration. Here's the deal.
Yes.
So, as the story goes, and I'm sure people are going, that's not the real story. You don't know you're talking. Shut up. That's the story as I know it.
Well, how do you know it?
That's the story as I know it.
Well, tell me it.
So I'm going back to 1969. Jimmy the Greek is in Las Vegas.
It's a great year. The Knicks won.
And Jimmy the Greek
Jets won.
Bets on the New York Jets out to win the game. Forget about points, no points. He took the Jets on the money line for, I believe, it was a $100,000 wager. In 1969, that's like a lot of money, right? And people took stock. Who's this Greek fellow? What's he got? The Jets. The Jets will take your action. And that's what made him. And then he went from there as, he picked the NFL, the Super Bowl. We got to put that guy on TV. And that's the legend of Jimmy the Greek. Did you ever hear that before?
No, I can't say that.
Will you guys show old video of the very first NFL Today this year?
I think
in
we've already,
deference to 50 years.
I'm sure there will be some of that somewhere along the line in promos or whatever. Look, I don't know. I'm not running the network. I just show up and I talk football.
Well, why don't we do? They should plan something, don't you think?
I'm sure they will. I've seen some of the promos and stuff, and yes, they do.
Show it.
Of course they do.
Will they bring like Phyllis George back to the set this year instead of a Victoria's Secret model? Maybe.
I don't know what they'll
Miss
do.
America's here.
I know they're bringing Charles Barkley to the set.
See, I don't get that.
Well, cross promotion.
Isn't football enough that you don't have to use Barkley in that spot?
Don't ask me. I'm not. I'm just like I show up. I do my thing.
And a
and I get out of
knucklehead.
it. That's right.
And you talk about how much money he's got more than you. Like I find that. Well, I don't. Who am I?
It was interesting playing golf. I was playing golf this week with somebody who will not be named.
Okay.
And he was telling me a story that he believes that Michael Jordan is starting to play golf like Charles Barkley because they play so much together.
That his game's getting worse.
That you're actually starting to see a little hitch in the swing. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I thought it was a wild story.
Has this person played with him where he may have seen it firsthand?
I think so. Maybe, yes.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, let me go to Glenn in Wallington, New Jersey. Glenn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
What's up, kid?
Good to hear you back on the radio.
Thanks, Glenn. What's going on, man?
Listen, I'm just curious. The softball game, there was a lot of talk about a softball game before you guys went to
in New Rochelle, our final game of the year.
How'd you guys make out?
We lost. We lost in the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth?
Yep.
How'd that happen?
Well, Mariano Rivera hit a ground ball to my right, and I got lazy on it. And rather than shuffle my feet over to the right, I went for the backhand stab, missed it. 2 hits later, I'll show the video. 2 hits later, he, despite Boomer telling the outfield, play in, Boomer's nephew once again played back and couldn't catch a fly ball to left. We lose in the bottom of the ninth, as we always do against them.
Always do? I thought you were undefeated.
We beat everybody else. We can't beat New Rochelle, and it's typically my fault.
All right, listen, I just had to call and say hello.
Oh, no,
good to hear you guys
appreciate
back
that.
on the
It's
radio.
so nice of you to bring that up today. It's very nice of you. Bothered me all vacation. My final play of the year was not a play. But your nephew, well, at some point, you need to have a chat with him.
Why is that?
Don't you think? Well, because he lets us down frequently.
I don't know how. You have a ginormous glove. You got big thighs.
I made one error. Happened to be the error that cost us the game. They don't show the dive and catch, of course. Where's that?
God's green earth. You do not make that play.
Where's the dive and catch that saved the run? Where's that?
I'm just...
And by the way, Bobby Valentine.
By the way, I didn't bring it up.
Holy crap, does he suck at softball?
Yeah, I didn't bring it up. So you're the one who's bringing it up.
I love Bobby to
death. But you're right. I was very frustrated with my nephew because,
all year.
Because with less than 2 outs and a man on third, you got to bring the outfield in. So I said, come on in, guys. Come on in.
Yeah, he don't know what to do.
And I'm like, what is he doing?
He screwed me last year in your show. He screwed me this year in your show. He screwed us against the Port Authority. Where's the video of the dive and catch, boys? How come that one hasn't shown itself yet?
Oh, they lost
I'm not taking a break till it shows itself. Tell you that right now. Just a simple play, probably about the 5th or 6th inning. Dove to my right, backhand play. Maybe that gets shown.
Maybe it won't.
No, maybe that doesn't get shown.
Let's go to Mark in Great Neck. Mark, you're on with Boomer and Carton. What's happening?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Biggs.
I got to ask you something after I beat up Craig over here.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Craig, Jimmy the Greek.
I told you.
Long story short.
Yeah.
He was a runner. I think his father died when he was a kid. He was a runner for some bad boys over there. I think it was in Pittsburgh. What happened was he was making about 20, 30, 40,000 a game. He used to read the insights on the local papers when the trains used to come down to the Toledo station he used to hang by. To get to it, all right, we get to it. What happened was he won 40,000 large on the game outright. You're right about that. It wasn't 100
on the Super Bowl III on the Jets Super Bowl, right?
Yes, it was the money line. He won it out straight. He ended up losing it that year, re-gambling it.
I'm sure.
And CBS hooked him up and put him on, and then him and Phyllis used to.
Do you know what his most successful bet of all time was?
Give me a second. Let me think. It had to be after when he moved to Vegas.
He bet on the Truman Dewey presidential race.
Oh, okay.
And he got 17-1 odds on
right.
Truman. And he said he knew that Dewey was going to lose because he had a mustache.
Well, you know the old saying, Craig.
No, I don't.
Well, you ask everybody. It's almost the Richard Dreyfuss movie. Who do you like in the third? And I go the other way.
Yeah, the horse racing movie. I forget the name of that. It was a very good movie with Dreyfuss, though. Appreciate that. What's your thing for Boomer? Go ahead. Oh, we lost him?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Jimmy the Greek and I do have a little bit of something coming. I think he had 3 kids with cystic fibrosis.
Did he?
I believe so, yeah. Either 3 or 2.
Huh. See that? Did you ever know that?
Well, of course I know it.
I mean, did you have a relationship with him is what I'm saying?
No. No, because that was before I had any kids, and I think he was off the air by the time I made it to the NFL.
I think he was fired in 91, 90 or 91, when they caught him drinking in that Washington restaurant. Fired him.
No, they fired him because of his racial comments.
No, but was it maybe before 90, maybe late 80s? That's when he was in the restaurant DC drinking, and they asked him about black athletes versus white athletes.
And he was fired in 1988. Yeah, so I probably met him somewhere along the line. I don't remember anything in particular, but
well, there you go. I will say this: Irv Cross came to his defense publicly after that, which showed a great solidarity and friendship he had. Anyway, Boomer and Carton on the Fan 724. Giants Cowboys Sunday night. Yankees Orioles tonight with the big man. How many times do you think Buck Showalter bunts against Sabathia tonight? We'll have an over-under next on the Fan.
If I were, I'd be butting my ass off. Why?
Bunt.
CC Sabathia take an issue with that.
Fantasy football players.
Jerry, if you get into a Twitter spat with somebody, and you start calling each other morons back and forth like a bunch of little kids,
when does this happen?
I would make sure that the guy that you're arguing with has more than 27 followers.
Oh, yeah, caught into that trap. No, because then you're giving the guy.
I don't care about that.
Then you're giving him your platform.
Minimum
and you got a big
5,000.
platform.
No, well, you know what? When you don't listen, though, you need to be told you should listen.
Minimum 5,000 followers.
Jerry, nobody cares.
At your level.
Well, whatever.
I mean, you can't get caught up in that kind of stuff.
Who got caught up? You're getting caught up in it. I posted my little thing, I'm done.
I just saw,
I'm a Boomer nut. It's beneath you, Jerry.
It's not beneath me.
And it looks bad for me and Boomer.
Sometimes it looks bad for the show and the company and everything else.
Like, why are you reacting to a guy with 2 followers? Who cares?
You don't want to be agitating the big fans that we have out there.
Sometimes when you say something stupid, and I say that many stupid things, you need to be told that you've said something stupid. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Not an official capacity as Jerry Recco. Maybe it's something
What
else.
official capacity?
Well, you're representing me and Boomer. We want you
But I didn't say Boomer and Carton think you're a moron. I just
maybe
said,
the guy is a moron. Maybe he's nice. Probably a good guy who loves the show.
Well, that's because he called me and Al morons, and he was wrong about
But
it.
if I may
That's
say
all.
this, but you calling a listener of ours a moron is bad for us.
But that's the end of it.
Well, except that guy now goes, oh, is that right? You don't care about me? I'm not listening to the show.
Boomer's
that
poop
negatively
list.
impacts me and Boomer. You got to get along with people, Jerry, not
I
fight
actually
with
do
them.
get along with most people.
Do you?
I do.
All right.
Yes.
Jerry, how old are you?
43.
All right. Stop arguing and calling people morons on Twitter.
Also,
then, okay?
That's
I mean,
probably not going to stop.
What's next? Instagram?
Were you upset that you got
Periscope?
overlooked for the
FaceTime?
NFL show that
Face cracked, whatever.
What did I get overlooked for now?
Mike used to do that NFL show?
Well, considering I don't think I was ever a candidate, I don't think I would
Does
have
that
been
bother
overlooked
some to you at
for
all
it.
or no?
No.
I
I'll
was
bend over.
doing that.
How about you, Al? Are you upset about it?
I would love to have done it.
They did not consider you as a host.
Was
for that
not
show.
asking.
I also have a job on Sundays.
I'm
so
just asking,
I couldn't
Eddie.
have done
Are
it.
you producing that Sunday show anymore? Or no,
Nope.
you're out. All right, just checking.
So-
if you want me to go to management for you, I'm happy
don't.
to throw your hats in the ring.
I work at
Unless they've
Compass
already
Media Networks on
decided
Sunday. I'm
who's,
good.
replacing Mike on that Sunday show.
Is Mike not doing that?
He's not, but I think they're
I thought he said he was.
No, they're going to make a big announcement about it. I think later today.
Oh, I thought he said he was not doing the Sunday morning.
He's
Or
not doing
was.
it.
No,
He's
he
not.
was doing it.
No, because he couldn't do the whole season because his contract ends before the season's up.
It was kind of back on the table and
It's off the
discussion,
table.
but now it's off.
I hear they're putting out a press release, maybe even today, announcing the replacement for that show.
Great.
And it's not me or Boomer. I know that.
Well, it can't be me.
Well, Boomer's at the NFL today.
And I wouldn't do it anyway because I like my Sundays at home.
There you
Right.
That being said,
Would you have liked them to have asked you,
no,
though?
I'm not like that at all. I could not. It does not bother me one iota.
Got
It's
it.
like when they did not ask me to do the sports minutes. Thank
Oh,
God.
by the way, I do have an invite for you for the Jets home opener.
An invite for me?
Yeah,
for,
from the Winter Brothers. You know, they
I
invited you
love
to
Joe
your,
and the guys. Yeah, they're
invited
great.
you to their, their
They do
big
barbecue better than like
pregame
tailgating,
meal, the whole
rather.
tailgate, the whole thing, everything.
Well,
you're invited.
Can't go.
Well, I'm just telling you.
They have my number. They can just call me and ask me.
Well,
I'm not-
I saw him
You're
and
not
he
my
said, hey,
surrogate.
tell Craigie, because I know he's such a huge Jet fan, that if he wants to come by the tailgate, we'd love to have him.
Come by the tailgate as opposed to, hey,
That's not really an
why do you
invitation.
come to the game with us and go to the tailgate?
No,
It's like, oh, you're going to be at the game with your Jet
That's
fan.
not right. They
swing on
they
by.
figure
We'll
that
give you
you're
a skirt
They
steak.
figure that you're the big Jet fan that you are. That you
I will be at the home opener.
Right, but the way you just presented it was that they were offering him tickets to go to the game with him and the party and the tailgate, and it sounds like, hey, if you're going to be there, swing by. Right?
That's how I took it.
Right.
Now, listen, the Winter Brothers have been very kind to me.
It's an
they're
invitation,
probably-
100% invitation for you to go there.
Have them reach out to me.
No, I'm
and
not having
invite
them
me.
do anything.
And all of a sudden, once again,
relate-
you jump
I
into my
relate-
friendships and try to take them over.
I relayed a message that was I was asked to give to you. I gave it to you.
I appreciate that, but it's very interesting to me. You weasel your way, you wedge in there. Now they're your friends. I invited you to the big Winter Brothers Thanksgiving Day tailgate. Next thing you know, my friends want to invite you to that. I went to their tailgate first. Now you're inviting me to a place I've already been. It's embarrassing.
I mean, you're like a child.
shoot the
sometimes.
messenger.
Jumping in on my
All right, sorry.
friendships.
Next time somebody gives me, an invite for you, I'm not going to give it to
Well,
you.
tell them to reach out to me. Give them my contact info, which they already
They knew
have.
that I would see you. They knew that I would
They're
say
good
something
people.
to you.
But-
Would you
would say
not
this.
agree, though, Boomer, over these
I love
10
those
years
guys.
now, right, that is one of Craig's big pet peeves?
Boomer jumping my relationships? Yes, I hate it.
No, because I think you started doing that first with him.
100%.
But when someone wants you to
100%.
do something and they go through him, just go to you.
If they have my contact. Now, if it's like a guy that Boom knows that doesn't know how to get a hold of me, I'm good with them going through Booms.
Hey.
But I know
we're
the
knee-deep
Winter
into-
Brothers.
We're knee deep into some tequila Southsiders. The guy goes, hey, tell Craigie to come by. We'd love to have him. We love Craigie. I said, okay, I got it. No worries about it.
In that case, now you've explained it. The Winter Brothers are off the hook.
Yeah.
It'd be my pleasure to come by your tailgate. You have one of the great tailgates I've ever been to.
Yes, exactly.
They bust it out nice and they clean it up because they're garbage men.
Nice.
They know what's up. No,
Let's-
we have an update. It's
All right, hold on. Let's go to Dennis in Oceanside. Dennis, what's happening?
Boomer, what's up, brother? How are you, bro?
All right, I'm great, man. How you
Yankees,
doing?
Orioles tonight, big CC Sabathia. Come with the noise.
What do you got, Dennis?
Listen, I want to know who you think is taking over for Big Mike.
We don't know. Jerry, you got an update?
And we're brought to you by Eric Clapton to celebrate. These Orioles, Camden Yards. Well, on Monday, the Yankees fell behind 3-0, then scored
That's
a
a
few
big
runs.
win yesterday, too, with all the travel concerns.
Oh, shut up. Stop it.
Pitch to Castro. Line to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Starlin Castro drills a 2-run dinger to left. Starlight, star bright. Starlin just hit one with all his might.
Love it.
Oh, that Starlin is darling. He hits a 2-run home run, and the Yankees take a 5-3
And by the way,
lead.
I actually put the game on right about this at this spot right before he hit the home run. Game over. I mean, the game was over at that point. John Sterling on the fan. They wound up beating the Orioles 7-4. Baltimore got a late home run. Here was Didi Gregorius. Didi also homered in this game, a 2-run shot in the fourth. He says, great having Starlin back.
It's always fun. It's always fun. We always, talk crap to each other during the game. So keep each other loose. That's what is for me. That's important.
Hey, whatever motivates
There was a little
them.
bit of at-home cooking medicine there that they gave to the Orioles because the Orioles hit a lot of home runs.
That's basically the only way the Orioles score runs, or by hitting home runs.
Yeah,
You're
but
right
everybody's
about that.
got 20 or more home runs in that lineup. It seems like
They sure do. Jacoby Ellsbury 1 for 2, an RBI single, couple of walks. Speaking of walks, Aaron Judge 1 for 1 with 4 walks. First rookie over 100 walks in 64 years. Hasn't been done since 1953. Chad Green 2 1/3 in relief for the win. Why has he fared so well this year?
Just try to take it a pitch at a time, really, though.
That's it.
That's what I'm talking about.
With that crap.
It's one pitch, one at bat, one inning.
It's funny. The Yankees have a couple dudes that look like they're 12.
Oh, he's one of them.
Sonny
They're
Gray's
young.
the other one. He looks like he's like 2 years old.
Young team. Here is Joe Girardi loving this pennant race baseball.
You want to keep it going. Obviously, I think it's a big game tomorrow again. The other teams are chasing us, and we're chasing the Red Sox.
Yeah, the
Lot
Red Sox
chasing. Well, listen,
are 2.5 behind them, and they're 3 in front of Minnesota for the
care of your
top
business.
spot.
Jared, do you agree with me that the Yankees are the best, the worst of the best?
That's such a backhanded
That's a
bitch
tough one to
compliment.
say, but yes, I do agree.
Right, they're the worst
I
of the
think
best.
they're a year away from being ridiculous. I really do. I think next year they are a legit.
But why next year?
Because I think the other teams are better than them this year. That's why.
Okay.
I don't.
I think Houston's better. I think Cleveland's better. I think they're really good, but I don't think they're on that level.
Yeah.
Well, the next 25 games will prove whether they are or not.
But they're in a situation right now where their supposed ace Tanaka,
3 in a
their
row.
former
Who's
ace
pitched
CC
well.
Sabathia,
Who's pitched well.
That's what I'm saying. You can't count on that next year. Right now, they're
You got
pitching as good
yourselves-
as they've ever pitched.
This rotation's never been better this year than
Right.
it is right now.
Right
That's
now.
what we're saying.
Right now they're
the
pitching well.
bullpen's been a
I
little
agree.
shaky, but outside of that,
They're not shaky.
No, yeah, they
Robertson's
have
been great. Chad
They've
Green's
been
been
shaky.
great. Yeah, it's because of
They've been
what's his name?
shaky. Shaky. Just like your tequila sunrise was shaking, I bet, before you drank it. Wait. You all right?
Yeah.
Did you guys miss me on the golf course the other day?
No, not at all.
There's a big golf tournament I was invited to play in amongst men, private.
Why didn't you go? You were away?
No, I was away.
Got it.
But I was following along. There was like an active chat line going about the.
Well, the thing about it is, we're not
results.
going to be able to get you and Matt to play golf because Matt's going away. He's got to go to training camp
No,
this week.
he and I thought we were going to play on Thursday.
No, he's got to go away. He's going to training camp.
When?
This
he told
week?
me this week was good.
No, this week he's leaving for Toronto on Thursday, I believe.
Well, then why don't we? I can't play Wednesday.
No, he
neither
can't
he.
play
He can't play today.
He told me this
I
week
can't
would be
play
fine.
Thursday because I got to go to New England on Thursday.
How about today?
We're not playing today. I have to do
We have Showtime inside the NFL.
inside the NFL.
You're doing
Showtime
that too
today.
now?
No, I'm doing a companion show to it for
No, he's not.
men that watch football the way I watch football.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
that done now?
What happened?
Is that
Ms. Espinosa's yet to call me back with the particulars, but
So not quite.
he's probably got to be feeling good
Are
about
you
himself.
Any message for Steven Espinosa? Because I'm sure I'll see him today.
Yeah, tell him what the F.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not going to pull a Costanza and just show up to do a show?
Look, it's so simple. They, like everyone else, is dying for content.
Okay.
So I'm giving them a companion show to Inside the NFL that I do not want to be paid for until my ratings exceed the Inside the NFL's. So they get a free show.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Right. They just got to give me a small little room, 2 cameras, and a green screen, and let me do what I want to do. That's all. They'll be paying me within 2 weeks.
Sounds like somebody's desperate.
Hey, listen, when your app crashes as much as it did, you want to think you want to do something right.
Okay.
Companion show.
Companionship.
That's all. Simple.
Sure. What else you got,
Blue
Jared?
Jays beat the Red Sox 10-4, which is why the Yankees picked up a game. Mets beat the Phillies 11-7. The news about David Wright's surgery on the rotator cuff today. Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 13-0. 11 straight wins for Arizona. J.D. Martinez hit 4 home runs in that game, and the Indians have won 12 straight as they beat the White Sox 5-3. Week 1 NFL, we've got the Giants and the Cowboys on Sunday night. Of course, Thursday it does start the game you'll be at New England and Kansas City. Sunday night, though, what about
Are we
Becca?
carrying that game, or we have Yankees Thursday night? Must have Yankees, right, Eddie?
Good
I
question.
think,
Sunday night is Westwood 1. I know that.
Are we
it's-
JIP?
It would either be here or it would be on 880, I would think. Right?
Thursday night, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it'll
would
be
think
on
so.
one. I think we're.
And usually we would get to it after the Yankees.
What's
I don't know if the Yankees
No
play
Yankees.
Thursday.
Yankees off, so that
There you
game will
go.
be on our air. with the Booms. Yeah, you're up there, Boom. Yeah.
Where's that?
Boomers do the game. That's right.
New England, yes.
You know, Boomer, actually, we should acknowledge, as we're celebrating the Yankees keeping New York sports alive until the Giants start playing football. And again, we all owe the Yankees a debt of gratitude that they've given us a summer of something interesting
They've
and good.
given you a summer.
No, everyone, because
we're
nothing
looking
else
at
around
a
here.
only for Yankee
wild card
fans.
game at the Yankee Stadium.
Listen,
Awesome.
listen. When you take stock of the Jets, outside the Giants, which we're just waiting for them to start Sunday night, without the Yankees, this would have been the worst summer in the last 25 years. So thank you, New York Yankees. We appreciate everything you've done for us as a community and a city and the 5 boroughs. Beyond that, of course, while the Mets languish in mediocrity, which is what they do best.
Actually, not even mediocre.
But you get
they
that
suck.
play-in game, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, game 163. Yeah, regular season.
You're
game.
not-
Yankees
listen,
Twins at the
Knock
stadium.
the Yankees all
Irvin
you guys want.
Santana versus
Just
Luis
like
Severino.
Keuchel shut him down.
Listen,
Remember that?
Keuchel, I want to beat Dallas. Keuchel. Where are
You guys are
You're late.
haters.
Good.
And you know what?
I'm not a hater.
May you suffer the indignity of watching the Yankees win playoff games while you guys toil in mediocrity.
What
over
were
there.
you trying to, so what were you trying to say prior to this? You lost your train of thought.
Well, you guys
Something
keep
about me going
interrupting
to
me.
Thursday
Well,
night or
last year,
something?
last
What
hour you
happened
did
on
the
Thursday?
last hour you did the year of the cock.
Oh, I
Is
was
this the summer of the
acknowledging-
Yankee?
So, self-serving, of course. It's our 11th year. Woo! It's NFL Today's 50th year. Woo! This Thursday night will mark the longest tenured analyst in Monday Night Football history, as Boomer Esiason will surpass Hank Stram.
Really?
That's right.
I didn't even know that.
I thought you did that already.
When he does this year's Super Bowl, he will now have the record for having called more Super Bowls as a radio analyst than any other human in Super Bowl
Which is
history.
how many?
I don't know. Boomer, I have to tell you that.
What was your
Is it
first
18,
one?
37, how many? That'd be almost 20, right?
Yeah, something
Hank
like that.
Stram.
You've done 40% of all the Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Mike Hogg.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
What happened?
Wow.
What did you
Where's
just
it
say?
going?
Al said Mike Hogg. That's not right. I mean, let someone else get a chance.
Yeah.
Al again with these. Anyway, what else you got, Jerry?
What else do we got? No, that's pretty much it. Tennessee beat Georgia Tech in double overtime, 42-41. Quarterfinals U.S. Open today. Tonight, part of that is Venus Williams playing at 7 o'clock. So
It's funny. My son said to me, do all the women in the tournament know that the only reason they have a chance to win this year is because
Serena's not there.
I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, the good thing that Sharapova ended up losing, because if she didn't, there's going to be all this drama surrounding her playing for the championship at the U.S. Open and all this other stuff.
True. Patriots favored by 8.5 Thursday night, and the New York Giants are underdogged as well, which I find interesting, not knowing what's happening with Ezekiel Elliott.
I will take the
Giants
in
are
that
getting
game.
3.5.
I'm taking the Giants in that game, man.
Giants plus 3.5 Sunday night, and the Jets, since I'm giving it to you, are plus 8 right now, and that's with Tyrod Taylor questionable. He's in the concussion protocol, and of course, you may have seen that the Jets lost Martin for 8 weeks as well.
Yes.
So it's you almost have to find a way this year to make Jet games entertaining.
Well, I
right?
think 3 of their first 5 games, they play Buffalo, Jaguars, and Cleveland. So
steal a couple wins. Is that what you're getting at? Right?
I mean, if they're going to
Roll the
win, that's
dice.
where they're going to win.
But I'm saying, I know the Jets are trying these new ticket things, although they're not getting back to me about buying tickets, interestingly enough. You almost got to make the whole Jet thing not about the game and try to give fans something, just like a parking lot party, giveaways, free hot dogs, that kind of thing.
The one thing, they'll have the Dolphins out of the way before October's over with. They'll have played them twice.
Which is weird, right?
It is weird,
It's like Yankees and Red Sox being done. It's not even September 10th, right?
You're right.
I'm just wondering how Jay Cutler's going to play.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't lay away. Thinking about it.
Jerry, you're a Dolphin fan. What do you think?
I think he'll do fine. I think they'll be a good team.
Who?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins will be a good team.
They'll be a good team. They're not going to. I don't think they'll challenge New England, but they'll be a good team.
What do you think, Eddie? He's your quarterback.
You know what? I'm fine with it for 1 year.
Well, they give a choice.
Exactly right.
You're fine with it. What if you weren't fine with it? I love a fan say that. I'm fine with it. Let's say, just for the sake of this conversation, you weren't fine with it. Then what?
Then nothing.
Kind of like you are with the Jets.
Right.
You said, "Hey, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the Sheldon Richardson trade. I'm fine with it." That's what you said.
I didn't say. I said it was a great trade.
You said that this morning.
I'd say fine with it.
Who cares if you think it's a great trade?
You're actually all in on it.
I said it was a great trade. I'm applauding Mikey Mack for making a great trade.
And Eddie's applauding the Dolphins for
he's not.
bringing on Jay
He's
Cutler
fine
and
with
trying
it.
it.
What if you weren't?
What do you want him to say?
I want to get an opinion. I think
That was my opinion.
I think Jay Cutler's going to be fantastic, and we're going to win 10 games with him.
Nah, well, we might win
I'll
10
get you a
games,
dollar.
but ultimately it's not going to matter.
Right.
Why not?
Because you're not getting by New England.
I disagree 100% this year. This should be the year you see New England
Is
fall.
Brady out for the year with an injury?
Yeah, New England doesn't
Brian
have
Edelman
enough.
is.
Yeah, that's Julian Edelman. Not Brian Edelman.
My cousin.
It's your buddy. By the way, it's not like they don't have enough weapons up there.
Oh, listen, Gronk is a question mark at this point.
Why is he a question mark? He's not a question
40-year-old
mark.
quarterback. Yeah,
I
he
would
is.
think, if anything, the fact that he's back
No
makes him
Edelman?
better.
Listen, all I know is that this
I
is
don't
the
know.
year.
Brandon Cooks. They just traded for Philip Dorsett. They have Rex
Can't win
Burkhead,
every
Mike
year, Boone.
Gillislee, James White, Deion Lewis.
They suck.
Chris Hogan.
I
Yeah,
didn't say they suck. Did I
Dwayne
say they
Allen.
suck at any
You
point?
said it's the year they fall.
You say
They're not going to win.
I
Maybe
just
they
don't
will,
think.
but
I don't know how they don't win the division.
Let me ask you a quick question, just from a football standpoint. If I gave you this opportunity right now, and I gave you, let's even say I give you 5-1 odds on your money, you take New England, I get every other team in the league. Would you make that bet?
I would not, because I don't know that they'll win the Super Bowl, but I think they'll win the AFC East.
I think they're actually,
I agree they'll win the AFC East.
That's all I'm saying.
You got to remember, all the additions that they made in the offseason, including Stephon Gilmore at cornerback. I know they lost Ninkovich, and they traded Jacoby Brissett. Who cares? One of the reasons why he does what he does late here is because he recognizes that his special teams isn't that good. And that's one of the kind of key secrets, the underlying secrets to his success, is how good they have been on special teams.
I get it. I'm just saying, if I gave you the Pats and I got everyone else, would you make that wager?
I would not.
You would not.
It's a hard way to do that. I mean,
I'm giving you 5 times your money.
But when I look across the landscape of the AFC,
what do you say?
There are teams like Pittsburgh and Oakland that should be able to put up huge numbers offensively. I don't know how good those teams are going to be defensively, even though Pittsburgh added Joe Hayden, the defensive back that the Browns let go.
Is that Pat's son?
No, but I would just say that there are teams that could probably score with them, assuming that they don't have to go to New England. Because I think going to New England, as you're asking for, it's almost impossible.
You're making Jerry laugh.
Why?
Your football prognostication. Look,
That's not why, you idiot.
He's beside himself. What did Boomer say that was so funny?
You did. You asked him if it was Pat Hayden's son.
Hey, what could be?
Yeah, they don't look
No?
alike. No.
Right. It could be Ryan Edelman.
Yes. Yeah.
Didn't look like it at all?
Oh, well, you can make like 17 mistakes in the last 3 hours. And
I asked.
who
I didn't
cares?
say he was Pat Hayden's son. I asked if he was.
I know. It's just.
No, I think if you look at him, you can see that he is.
You never
Unless
know.
he's adopted.
You never know. Right?
Right.
Just saying.
Okay.
I assume that one's black, one's white. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Didn't realize that.
One's black, one's white.
That would have been nice to have known that little fact going into that segment.
Yes, I think so.
As to not, make it a black-white thing.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
or
well,
as
it's
the
not really
great
a
Joe
black-white thing.
Piscopo and Eddie Murphy sang many years ago, you are black and I am white. You're blind as a bat and I have sight.
There you go.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Boomer and Carton on the fan.
Good
Just
job,
for the
Jerry.
record, Pat and Joe Hayden, not related.
All right, we are live from the Investors Bank.
You may know him as Mariano Rivera. I know him as my opponent. Mo, how you been, buddy? Boomer and Craig.
It looks better like your nemesis, brother.
You are my nemesis.
Where I wanted to go. You hit it right up the middle. I can feel it. It's hit hard, too.
It ended the way they all end. Me versus Mariano, me folding like a cheap tent, sadly. But the reality is that I got on base every single time, and the professional athletes that I hang out with, I mean, they let me down. It happens from time to time.
Who was playing short last game?
Shut up! That being said, I shouldn't hold this microphone, so I'll give it to the Canadian.
Well,
wait, by the way, Bobby Valentine.
I suck. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Not on camera.
On his resume,
I gotta
it
go
says,
home with this.
Greatest athlete to ever come out of Connecticut.
I'm an old man. I suck. It's over. I just retired. You got me full retirement. I will never play this game again.
Next year, we'll play 15 more games, and we'll go 14-1. Thank you, CBS Sports Network, again. All the guys that give us time out of their very busy lives to participate in our games, we appreciate it, including number 42, Mariano Rivera, who once again beats me.
And Craig Carton.
Coming up on 8 o'clock, Yankees, Orioles tonight, Sabathia. 3 out of 4 against the Red Sox. The 7-4 win yesterday. And the Yankees are going to give us a little 30-day run here in which, see, they can compare themselves to some Yankee teams of past years that dominated September to get into the playoffs, and then you cross your fingers, it goes from there. Listen, you have a 3-game lead with how many games left?
About 26 or 25,
right?
something like that.
That's a lead you don't give up.
But the thing about it, I think they end up 14 out of their last 17 home after this road trip that they're on.
So to me, it's wild card's not good enough. When you make the moves that Cashman made, and the money that he was allowed to spend, courtesy of the Steinbrenners and then Lon and Randy, they all collectively get together. Like you said earlier, you're telling, forget about the fan base, you're telling the guys in the clubhouse,
you're in.
Hey, we're not tolerating coming in 3rd place. We're not tolerating a fall without playoff baseball. We gave you the tools, Joe Girardi as well. You've got all the talent you could use now. We're going for it from an ownership standpoint. Get it done. And I think they took a big step against the Red Sox.
I just hope whatever they do, if they make it via the wild card to win the series, that they're healthy, that you could see an entire lineup. Matt Holliday's back in the lineup. Headley's had a great year.
Runs.
You've had Straw and Castro back now. No, of course, Hicks is out with yet another oblique injury. This time the other oblique injury.
Like the 1st of May since they were all there, right?
That's exactly right. And now you're missing your catcher because he's suspended for the next 2 games. So the pitching staff has been great. Tanaka and CC Sabathia have been really, really good here now the last 30 days. So
I think they got very lucky with that Sanchez suspension only being 3 games, by the way. If you go back and look at it, now I loved it as a guy rooting for the Yankees to do well. If that happened against you, it would be like Chase Utley.
Kind of interesting, though, how his suspension started yesterday and not over the weekend against the Red Sox.
You know how it goes, but we have to take time. There's a lot of other things to get to review. You have a lot of players involved,
plus
people making cases.
Plus, Joe Torre knows how important those Red Sox series are.
He certainly does. Here's Colin in Marlborough, New Jersey. Hey, Colin, what's good, buddy?
Hello.
What's happening, Colin?
I hear some Mets fans today, Craig, that need you more than ever.
I'm here to help.
There's a church that usually opens the day after Labor Day.
That's correct.
Mets fans for Yankees.
You're a little premature. It's scheduled for 8:30, but why don't we get into it a half hour early? Ladies and gentlemen, for the 9th consecutive year.
That's not true.
Boomer and Carton and WFAN Radio, in conjunction with CBS Sports Network, are proud to bring you dun, 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 Mets fans for Yankees.
Come on, Boom. This is going to be fun this year.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Get on board.
Sorry about that, Colin. Thank you for
the love train.
Yeah, it's a love train. Remember, the Yankees were not in the World Series 2 years ago. The Mets were.
That means nothing.
What do you mean it means nothing?
You're fabricating an argument.
The Mets are just terrible organization.
They are.
I will say that
They're
here's
a
the
joke.
one thing. As a Met fan, I hope that they do in the offseason, and they better do it. And they have to look at why all these guys are getting hurt. Like, now Cespedes is basically taking himself out of the
year.
lineup. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
come on.
By the way, if the Mets were smart, they would take those nets they put up and make them walls, so Met fans would have to watch the Mets play when they go to the game.
You on the walls. You love walls.
By the way, did you? When is that big? Is that concert this weekend? It's a big concert at Citi Field. People are going crazy about. It's like the only reason to go there and be happy, you know? Feel it is like it's like a 3-day extravaganza
with all
at
those
Citi Field.
with all those bands,
Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jay-Z, a bunch of bands I never heard of.
This isn't the big EDM concert thing?
No. It's a 3-day thing called the Meadows. Look up the Meadows, Al. It's like a huge deal. People go. I'm surprised.
I will say one
your
thing.
son-in-law and daughter aren't in.
No, he's going to work. He's got to go to work. We're about 20 days out from preseason hockey, dude.
Oh, it's 2 weeks away. The Meadows, September 15th to the 17th. By the way, real quick, not to show you that you're out of touch at all, because that's not the goal of this little segment here. I'll give
out of touch with what?
Well, like you said earlier, that you were the second youngest guy in the NFL today, so you're going to bridge the millennial gap.
Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Blood Orange?
Yeah.
How about Marion Hill?
Yes.
Slap Top?
No, I can't say I know Slap Top.
TV on the radio?
I know Slipknot.
Okay. How about Sweatshop Boys?
Sweatshop Boys. Nope.
Jacob Banks?
No.
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Of course, my man Chad Smith.
Nas? You know Nas?
Oh, I know Nas. Come on.
Weezer?
Yeah,
You
of course,
Weezer.
I know Weezer. That's Al's favorite band.
He loves Weezer.
Well, he's a
How
Weezer
about
guy.
Ghostface Killer? You know him.
I know
course.
Ghostface Killer.
Foster the People? You know him. Them. They did with the fancy kicks.
Yeah, so I'm all good. I got it. I'm down with it.
Not bad. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a 3-day event called the Meadows.
You want to go over there every night and get like re-upped and just kind of like get into it again?
Not really.
No,
to be honest.
Okay. All right.
Like Friday night, the star is Jay-Z.
Okay.
Saturday, I would tell you that the biggest star is LL Cool J and Future.
That's your boy.
Yep. And then Sunday, you got the Chili Peppers. So there you go. Al, you going to the Meadows? Is that your thing?
No, I'm not a big festival guy.
If it were not a Sunday, I would go see the Chili Peppers in a heartbeat.
Yeah, at Citi Field. Should be good. Like I said, it's the first reason all year to actually smile inside the gate.
I get. You just want to beat down on the Mets. I get.
No,
the
I want
whole
them to
thing.
sell the team. Is
No,
what
I mean,
want
at the end of the day, I know. I get it. I hear
want
it.
them
It's
to sell
constant.
the
It's just
franchise.
Like,
Sell
you're
it.
just like a constant nudge. It's,
Well, why can't we sell the franchise?
I mean, 2 years ago, they were in the World Series. Last year, they were in a wild card
Dumb
game
luck.
that you're hoping that your team gets to this year. So I'm just saying,
No,
just
I'm not
relax.
hoping the Yankees
It's not
get to that
dumb
this
luck.
year. I'm hoping the Yankees get beyond that
Key
this year.
trades and players not getting hurt and key players doing what they're supposed to do.
Would you admit that it's kind of a joke?
Well, this year it has been because of injuries. What? I mean, did you see the medical thing that they put out the other day? This one's getting this arthroscopic surgery. This one's getting this done. This one's getting that done. It's like
September
7
4th.
guys on them.
September 4th, directly from the New York Mets. Excuse you. Medical updates. It's like they actually put this out. These morons.
Well, they put it out there because they want you to know just
Don't you
how
feel
injured
bad
their
for
team
them?
has been. Yes.
David Wright undergoing surgery to repair his right rotator cuff tomorrow in New York. Michael Conforto, surgery in L.A.
How about that? Yeah, he's going to see my buddy, Dr. Neil Elatraj. How about that that injury?
Tearing the posterior capsule in the left
Just
shoulder.
swinging a bat.
T.J. Rivera, Tommy John surgery in the right elbow. Doesn't even pitch. Josh Edgkin, arthroscopic surgery, left knee. Noah Syndergaard threw 1 inning, 18 pitches, and a rehab start. He'll pitch again Thursday in Brooklyn. Buy tickets, buy tickets, buy tickets, buy tickets. Wilmer Flores sustained a broken nose, hit himself in the face with a ball.
Well, he didn't hit himself in the face. The ball, he fouled the ball off and it hit him in the face.
Thus, hitting himself in the face.
I mean, just
with a
think
ball.
of the amount of dopey injuries
One
the
more.
Mets have dealt with.
Ahmed Rosario,
Meanwhile,
contusion of the right index finger.
all the guys they traded away seem to be
Killing it.
doing pretty well.
They're all going to the playoffs every damn one.
And
of
they
them.
don't seem to be hurt. I don't
No,
think.
they're healthy. Like Neil Walker's like an Iron Man already. Seems like it. I don't know. Boomer and Carton on the Fan. If you want to enjoy Yankee baseball, feel free. The one great thing about the Yankee fan base, and they accepted me many years ago, just for September's only, is that the more the merrier. The door
Yeah, but
is open.
you've taken the Septembers and made it like your team now. This is like, that's all you talk about is the
Well,
Yankees.
the door is open. I
the way
appreciate
that you
that.
talk about the Yankees is like you were born into like Yankee fandom.
I might go to that game September 20th. I was thinking about it. Well, to spend the day. And I want to say thank you to Thale and the gang at CBS Sports Network for buying us a breakfast this morning, something WFN has not done in
I'll
10
tell you
years.
the other thing. Met with Mr. Hale, and met with Mr. Malloy, and Mr. Burson, and Mr. McManus, and Mr. Bryant.
Really?
And I have to tell you, when you get all those big mucky bucks in one room and you're having dinner and you're drinking a little wine.
I like that. Drinking wine.
You kind of find out what they think about certain people.
Okay.
And they talk extremely highly.
Thank you.
About somebody on this.
Well, I know how they feel
on
about
this
me.
show.
I appreciate that.
And when we come back,
But how did you go to dinner and drink with them without me?
Well, because it was an NFL Today.
Oh, okay. So, everyone was there?
You're not a part of
Like James was there, Coach was there.
You know how you're coattailing Investors Bank? You're not coattailing NFL Today.
No, I'm a part of the Investors Bank team.
James was there, Nate Burleson was there, but of course Nate had to leave early because he has an early morning show.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
Already did that twice.
In any event.
We're going to have a conversation.
Do they speak nicely of the show?
I mean, I don't leave early.
Ever. Stay. You're in. All in.
When the boss is there, you stay.
We used to call Boomer All In Tim before we knew what his real name was.
Gotcha.
You hiring? You know where to post your job?
I don't know if you saw this. I know you're a huge fan of this guy, Sebastian Janikowski. See what the Raiders are trying to do to him?
Yeah, so he's, I guess he's going to make $4 million. They want to pay him less, but they're messing around with him to the point where they brought some other guys in, tryouts, which they claim because he was injured, whatever.
Right, yeah.
And they're trying to kind of force him to take a pay cut when, I don't follow field goal percentage all that much, but you asked me about Janikowski. I'd love him to kick for my team. That dude's good.
He kicked a lot of game winners last year. They had a lot of tight games, and I think Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk says it best. This is a tactic that teams will deploy late in the game.
So you can't go anywhere.
To put a salary squeeze, on a player of Janikowski's stature. And
Guys
I'm like,
around what?
why the hell would you do that?
Right, the guy's been as reliable a kicker as there is in the league, pretty much.
He's also been in the league as long as Tom Brady has been in the league. They came in 2000, and you think about it, he's like the face of that franchise.
In a lot of ways.
In some ways, and he's such a kind of unique personality and such a great kicker. I don't know why. I don't know what the Raiders get out of this. And and then of course
they
bring
piss someone off.
They bring in 3 kickers on Monday to have tryouts, and that's the kind of put the squeeze, as Mike says in his article today.
Just for the record, he's the 4th highest paid kicker in the sport.
So what?
No, I'm just saying, I'm giving you a
$4 million.
I agree 100%.
Unless they're getting ready to give some money to somebody else, and they're trying to take money from somewhere else to get it. I don't know.
I would think at that level he's paying.
And the last thing I would want to do, and I don't know why these teams do it, but the last thing I would want to do is to upset somebody as I'm sure as popular in the locker room. And I'm sure popular with the Raider fans.
I'm sure they love him.
And why would you want to start a season off on the wrong foot like
he's a
that?
free agent next year. But still.
So what?
Give him the $4 million. Let him go kick for it. It's so stupid. Let me go to Mike in your show. Then I want to find out who these bigwigs love on the show.
All right.
Hey, Mike, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, so I heard the tease going into last break, and Boomer keeps saying he's got all these meetings with all these bigwigs from Showtime and CBS.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure that the last time he said this was you guys were going to have a McGregor-Mayweather pre-show. And
that's right, on Showtime.
It didn't come to fruition. I don't
by the way, Mike, that wasn't me. That was Craig who was pushing that whole thing.
Well, the reason that didn't happen...
I was not pushing that whole thing. That was Craig, and when Craig gets involved, things get haywire, and they never come through. So
it wasn't my fault.
I'm just telling you that I had dinner the other night, with the president of the chairman of CBS Sports, the president of CBS Sports, the guys who run the CBS Sports Network, the guys who are in charge of hiring people over there, whether it be Mr. Bryan or Mr. Malloy, and they all absolutely
thank you
support.
And I love the fact that they think that highly of me.
Jerry Recco is really one of the more talented guys on our show, and they've listened to his stuff. He is a great play-by-play guy. This is from their mouths.
I've been begging him to hire him for 7 years. They finally came around?
No.
Good.
I mean, I sat right next to Mr. McManus, and just sitting there talking, and next thing he goes, I really like Jerry Recco. I really like Jerry Recco. That's what I'm saying. All right,
good.
All right. So
let's give him a game.
And then Mr. Burson said to Mr. Bryant, "What do you think?" And Mr. Bryant said to Mr. Malloy, "Mr. Malloy, I think we should definitely experiment with Jerry Recco and see if we could find a couple games that we could fit into his schedule."
I win.
There you go.
No, because 5 years ago I said they should hire Jerry Recco to do some games.
Listen, I've been talking about Jerry for years now, and I did get Jerry meeting with them, and it didn't work out because Jerry's schedule is so frenetic.
No, it's because how he dressed.
No, it's how his. Well, he wore that stupid shirt.
He wore the dumb shirt.
Jive turkeys. Yellow shirt that he
wore.
wore.
The big yellow shirt.
I mean, don't wear a yellow shirt to a
They
meeting.
thought he was
please.
Curious George's master.
Right, exactly. So, but he has a frenetic schedule in the fall. Doing basketball and football and everything else. But I'm saying, like, if Jerry really wants to take the next level in his
He'd
career,
be stupid not to.
That's what
game they going to give him?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Football or basketball?
Jerry has to call Mr. Malloy, and they'll talk and they'll discuss that.
Big blockhead jackass.
For him.
No, you don't need to take care of it. Just stay out of it.
No, he probably needs to
stay out of it. Please,
I can help out.
Please, just completely stay out of it.
I could probably help out.
It's already done. I already took care of it.
So when it happens,
it's done.
But when it happens, just to be fair, I did bring it up 5 years ago.
I'll give you
Who
credit.
gets credit
I
for
don't
it?
care. You can have credit.
I want credit for Jerry's career.
I just want my friend to do what he wants to do in his life.
Why don't they give him Army Navy?
Listen, I'm sure they have people already.
Do they?
I think it's they do the college guys do Army Navy.
Maybe he could replace Robert Lee and do some Virginia games.
Yes. Right? Yeah. So stupid.
Saying he could maybe get involved in that little fracas. No?
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, I should mention Tyrod Taylor may not play against the Jets. The New York Yankees have Sabathia now. Sabathia's pissed off when the Red Sox keep laying down bunts. We talked about it before we went on vacation. Wouldn't you think now that the Orioles do the same thing tonight? And whatever, if next time he pitches, assuming it's against a team that's vying for a wild card spot, that they'll do it also.
Even though I'm not a fan of the Yankees per se, I am a fan of people, and I love CC Sabathia.
Sure,
I thought he was a war horse from Milwaukee, and when he first came here, he was a war horse, and he's actually recreated himself now late in here in his career. So I love what he's done.
Yeah.
What I don't love is the whining and complaining about teams bunting on him because they know that he's overweight. He's got a bad knee.
I bunt on you too.
At the end of I want to win games, and I sit here and I know that there's this unwritten rule about not bunting and all this other crap and hitting home runs. I don't care, man. I'm in it to win it.
That's it. You're supposed to be. It's like if you go play Powerball, do you say I only want 4 numbers, not 5?
No.
No, you want
but
in.
It's not the same though.
No, but yeah, it is. Listen, I'm going to bunt because I'm going to make you come off the mound with your 300 pounds, plant on a bad knee, and hope that it goes out. That's what the Red Sox do.
Not hope that it goes out.
Yes,
just hope that
it goes out.
No, hope that
That's
you
what
can't.
the Red Sox want.
Hope that you can't make a play, and I got a guy on first base, and I would do it, and I would make him do it the first 5 innings of every game. I don't care.
The Orioles are going to do the same thing. They're all there, and you should do it. By the way. That guy's got.
I don't know. Buck Showalter may not do it simply because he's Buck, and Buck goes back to like the history of baseball and all that. Come on, stop.
What? Just saying, there's a lot of losing that goes on there. I haven't seen any World Series parade since he took over, and the guy that replaces him will probably win one. That's like his unfortunate lot in life, I feel bad for Buck Showalter. No reason to be a douche to the Yankees, though, right? What do the Yankees ever do?
I would do whatever it takes to win.
Period.
Within the rules.
Right. That's the idea.
And the last I saw, you're allowed to bunt in baseball.
Yes. Much like you're allowed to move your outfield in with a man on third.
The more I know that it antagonizes him, the more I would do it.
Oh, if I'm the other teams and he's already gotten ticked off about it?
Yeah.
I lead off with a bunt.
All right. I love you, CC, but this has got to stop.
We're bunting. We're going to be known as the Baltimore Bunters for the next 2 games. Deal with it.
Well, they hit home runs, though.
Deal with it. By the way, can you see the cut on the end of my nose, or are we hiding that well enough today?
What happened there? I can see it now. I look at it. I can see it.
Yeah, I got a bad
How'd you do that?
That's a tough injury to explain.
Did you do it with a razor?
No. Yeah, I was shaving my nose.
Well, I mean, sometimes you're in here and maybe you just want
I was building Eddie's wine rack.
Oh.
And I looked up quickly, and there was a couple rusty nails coming out of this pallet I was working with, and I sliced the nose. So Eddie... It's almost ready though.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, I was going to give the wine rack to Jane and Larry, but since you really requested it first, I'll give it to you first. Then I'll just make a few more of them.
Okay.
All right, but that's what I was going to do.
Okay.
But you seem like you really want it.
Well, sure, but if you have an obligation to
you
Jane
wanted
and
the
Larry,
first one. It's very rustic though. Just know that. I need a tetanus shot before you take it home.
Right.
Who are Gene and Larry?
Friends. Dear friends.
And by the way,
Larry was a Vietnam veteran.
And he should get it first.
By the way,
I was going to say, I saw where the Daily News got sold.
Yeah, I remember when I told Gary Myers that nobody reads the Daily News anymore. He's like, "Oh, that's not my account." No. The Daily News got sold for. Now, those of you that may be movie buffs,
Yes.
will understand this reference. All right.
Okay.
Do you know the movie Trading Places Boom?
Yes, I do.
You do. Do you remember Mortimer and Randolph Duke?
They had a bet.
They had a wager.
They were doing a scientific experiment.
Yes. How much was their wager for?
$1.
Excuse me?
$1.
$1.
Yes.
The Daily News got sold for $1. When they went to closing, Trunk, which is this Tribune company that owns a bunch of newspapers.
TRONC.
Right. When they went to close on the purchase.
Trunk.
Sometimes when if you ever bought a house, there's a lot of big checks that get involved, maybe wiring of money, right? Cashier things. When Trunk went to the closing to buy the Daily News, because everybody reads the Daily News, that's what I was told. The owner of Trunk went into his front pocket, not even his wallet. He took out, as the story goes, 5 dimes, 2 nickels, a quarter, and 15 pennies. $1. And he gave it to the Daily News people. And that's what he bought the paper for. $1. $1. So, remember to Gary.
I mean, so doesn't a paper cost $1? How much? No, a paper costs $1.25.
Meaning that newspaper is worth more than the entire company by like 20%.
Zuckerman sells Pulitzer-winning tabloid after 25 years for $1.
$1.
And plus, assuming all the debt.
Well, I don't know about that, but $1. Hey, how much is the Daily News worth? $1. How much is a cup of coffee? $1.50. Meanwhile, they brought the nice people at CBS Sports Center. They brought us the bagels and breakfast today. Somehow encouraged the bagel delivery place to put coffee in a bag. I would suggest not to do that.
Because it leaks.
Everywhere. And we're redoing the entire floor.
Yes.
The last thing they need is coffee everywhere.
I mean, this is like a knockdown, drag-out work zone around here.
Calamity.
Is it not?
Yes. Coffee is everywhere. Right near Al's desk, too, which bothers me.
But just how about the thought that CBS Sports Network would do that?
Send us coffee in a bag?
To start our 11th year.
No.
And they haven't been with us for the 10 years.
How long have we been with them? Like a year and a half?
I think over 3 years, maybe.
I think we're in our 4th year. Is that right?
Okay, so there you go.
They're good people over there.
They're good
I've always
people.
said that.
Good people. But
it makes you feel good when someone acknowledges.
Like you would think WFAN would have done something, right?
No, I didn't.
Nothing.
I had a party at Borgata with you and
No,
the
but
guys.
I'm just saying, like today, like to start our 11th year, maybe they would have done something.
They have no idea.
What do you mean they have no idea?
Dave, you think they actually know that today's
I think
day
there are
one?
people walking around here that have an idea. Yes.
September 4th, 2007 was our first show. Therefore, today is day 1 of the 11th year. Nothing.
Problem is, until you surpass the Mike and the Mad Dog, they don't consider the anniversaries anything.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So on December 15th, it'll be our 2,500th show. Anything else going on? No? All right, just checking. It's a lot of shows, is all I'm saying. We'll get more of your calls coming up as Tanaka, along with Sabathia, along with Severino, along with Sonny Gray, give the Yankees a legitimate World Series shot this year.
How about Jaime Garcia?
Not yet.
Okay.
Fantasy football fans, listen.
Discussion about my discussion with the CBS higher-ups.
I heard a little bit of it.
I think I texted you from that dinner, did I not?
Yes, you did.
And what did I text you?
To remind you to speak to me about it.
Right. So I did tell Craigie and Al and Jerry about it, and Eddie about it this morning, along with the fans out there who are listening to us. So I just want you to know that Mr. Malloy is waiting for your phone call.
Wonderful.
And hopefully we can get something going here.
Don't wear that yellow shirt, though.
What little shirt?
The yellow shirt you wore last time.
Yeah, don't wear the
That
yellow
was
shirt.
a very nice dress shirt. What was wrong with that?
That's why you didn't get the gig.
Is that why you said I look like Curious George's father or something?
That's why they didn't hire you.
Shirt.
Jerry, nobody's wearing yellow shirts. You
I
either
thought I
wear a
looked
blue shirt. Maybe I'll give you a light gray shirt. I'll give you a white shirt.
And by the way,
not yellow.
We did very well with CBS Sports Network the one time. We did your basketball game.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
I missed the wide open layup, man.
All right, I'm just
not
talking about
you. It's talking about him.
Yeah.
I don't know why you always miss something or have an error somewhere.
Somewhere it doesn't go my way.
Well.
That's for sure.
But so,
don't
Jerry,
wear
you're
the
all
yellow
hooked.
shirt.
I got you hooked up.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that.
You got him hooked up.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
And I'll talk to the Showtime guys today if you need. Have you ever done boxing or anything?
No, I've never done boxing.
Ain't that hard.
I've never done boxing. Not that hard.
Maybe you should do some
Got
boxing.
it. Man,
Boxing's
what
not
the
that
hell?
hard.
No.
You're
bang,
not.
bang, bang.
Boxing's
bang,
more about the
right?
analyst than the play-by-play guy, which
Right.
is exactly the opposite of most sports.
Left, right, left,
probably
right,
true.
right, left, right, left.
Seriously,
right,
boxing's more about the other stuff. Did you watch Mayweather McGregor, by the way, both of you guys?
I did not.
What?
Nope.
I did not.
I was
What's wrong with
asleep.
you two? You went to bed, Mayweather McGregor.
I was-
That's why you're not a Vegas guy.
Too many tequila Southsiders.
I hear you. Jerry, you didn't watch it either?
I did
That
not.
thing didn't
no.
go off until 12:30.
And here was the issue too, was that all these reports about outages
Yeah.
and they were having problems. Like, I'm not spending money for outages and problems. Not
did.
at that point.
Showtime owes me $99.
Well, you got to watch it on your phone,
I watched it on my phone with 43 people.
which is awesome.
We had a big party on the beach. We were DJing and playing music, playing cornholio, went in the ocean, did some surfing and stuff.
Nice.
Great day. Really great day.
Craig and I, as a team, dominated Cornholio.
Yeah, we won the tournament.
Cornholio or cornholio?
Holio.
Got
Me and I won the tournament.
Mainly against children, but still.
No, it's called cornhole. It's not corn.
That's what I thought.
Cornhole. It's
Cornhole.
just cornhole.
Well, Al calls it cornholio.
I don't know what. You know what?
It's weird though. When I went into the park there, I paid $20 to go in. When you go to visit the person we went to visit, you don't have to pay. But I felt like it's a park. They charge you. I pay. Out and pay.
I wouldn't have paid.
I said I'm here to see the governor.
Right. Why would you pay?
Because I'm taking
I would think that goes on the
advantage of
governor's
state
bill,
park.
and he would
Therefore, I paid the $20. Al comes in, I ain't paying nothing.
I don't blame him.
And the strange thing was, it was dark. I was wondering, what are people paying to go into that park for in the dark?
Dark because you got there 9 hours after you were supposed to show up.
But why are there even still people checking?
They like to have sex, I think.
What?
People have sex in cars in parks. It seems to be a big thing.
Oh, it is.
In Staten Island, it is for sure.
I wasn't aware of this.
Jerry Recker's here. What do you got, Jerry?
All right, we got the Yankees. Conditions, and they got in real early, but you know what? At the end of the day, they were winners, as they have been all summer, haven't they been, Greg?
Now the right-hander ready to go. Be a 1-1. And the pitch is lined to right center field. There's a base hit. Ellsbury rounds third. He scores. Headley stops at second. It's a base hit. And an RBI for Starlin Castro. And the Yankees take a 7-3 lead.
That's John Sterling on the fan. 7-4 the final. Castro also had the go-ahead two-run homer in the fifth inning. Didi Gregorius, two-run homer in the fourth. And the Yankees win their third straight as they move a little bit closer
And Aaron
to the Red
Judge
Sox.
got walked 4 times.
4 times. Yes, he did. He was 1 for 1 with 4 walks.
It's all right.
on
Just be more selective. If any, out. Just be selective at the plate.
Seems like why would they be scared of him the way he's been hitting lately?
Well, you hit a bomb the other
He
night.
did hit a bomb the other night.
But it doesn't matter. He's
No home run.
6'7". He steps in there. You're
Same.
like, oh man.
Interesting that Scholes is
And
afraid of him.
if he's going to be point is just be more judicial in the box. Just be
Judicious,
smarter.
not
Or judicious, yes. Judicial.
But how about the crowds at Yankee Stadium for the Red Sox series? It was like baseball was alive again in New York.
I don't think they
wasn't it?
sold every game out, though.
Like baseball was alive again.
It felt like
But
baseball.
they didn't
was
sell
back.
out every
Alive
game, though.
again. Come on.
It felt like baseball was back.
But they didn't sell out every
It
game.
hasn't
Didn't it
gone
feel
anywhere.
like baseball was back?
But Boomer, they didn't sell out
Oh,
every
they didn't
Red
sell
Sox
out,
game,
well.
I don't think.
Baseball was back.
Well, baseball has never gone anywhere.
Well, yeah, the threat of rain one day.
Shut up. The threat of rain.
You guys seem to forget the threat of rain. Plus, it was a downpour.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't sell. Here's Joe Girardi, Didi Gregorius. Yes, indeedy.
They put some really long at bats, and I thought Didi's home run really got us going.
Yeah, because they were tired and they weren't doing very well. And then bang.
The Yankees never, other than your requesting change of times, No one. They sent Montgomery, who didn't pitch great. They sent him down there advance. He was there the night before.
Right.
So they were all good to go.
Yes.
That's all.
All good to go are the Yankees. Absolutely. Here is Didi Castro.
You guys, it just kills you guys to your core that the Yankees
doesn't kill me.
well.
Again, I don't dislike the Yankees.
It's so fascinating.
No, but nobody's
to me.
saying
what's wrong with you?
Trying to
The
keep it real.
dislike
You're like,
for the most
you're
popular
like the
team in the
Yankee-
city is
You're like the
fascinating.
Yankee propaganda machine.
No, just seems to me like
Jesus Christ. I mean, you just got to calm down.
got something good going on in my life. I'm gonna embrace it.
God for the Yankees. Thank
Thank God for the Yankees.
Propaganda machine.
Randy and Lon and everybody.
Wonderful people. Supportive, good people.
I'm sure they're very supportive.
Who understand that
By the way,
very douchey. They do things the right way.
only
Yankee fans like myself,
I mean, just
suck it.
Just for the record, because you brought it up, and the crowds were great, and it was electric and all good. Only 42,000 on Friday for the Mets.
On a Friday game?
What are you talking about?
Wow.
Only 42,000.
Because it's the Yankees Red Sox in September. Is that how we're gauging it now?
People go
There
away.
were 19,000 at Citi Field
it's a
yesterday.
dump.
That's a lot of people if you put them in one place.
No.
Yes.
That's not.
Yes. 43,000 on Thursday, 42,000 on Friday. Only 84% filled to capacity.
That's
Your
wrong.
thoughts, Craig?
Baseball's,
Go.
sliding.
First off, your numbers are wrong.
My numbers are not wrong. I'm looking at the box
Your
score right
numbers
now.
are
I'm not
wrong.
I'm not. 43,309, 87% full on Friday.
By the way, that's more than 87%. Let's do just some basic
87.2.
ergonomical math.
I can only tell you what the box score says. 87.2% full. It's 43-3. And by the way, great crowd, but it's not sold out. You would think Yankees Red Sox in September, only a couple games out, you'd sell out. Standing room only.
I agree.
Lines around the building.
It's pretty much a sellout.
No. Pretty much a sellout is not a sellout. That doesn't count.
No, it's pretty much a sellout.
But it's not. It's kind of like the Jets are pretty much an NFL team, but they're kind of not.
Essentially,
at this point.
Essentially, it really is. I mean, come on.
They could be, maybe.
Jerry's right. Jerry's
it's
being
not.
totally accurate. Jerry is just reporting the news.
I'm just telling you the numbers.
You are
That's
trying to flood the news.
40,000 people there.
That's not a sellout.
And if someone was just walking around the Bronx and was bored, I'll go see.
On a
Yankee
rain
game. They could.
No, they couldn't.
Yeah, they could.
Yes,
they
they
get
could.
right in.
Right in. $25.
25.
Yeah.
Who are you kidding?
Well, that's true, too.
Please.
So, but anyway, we're good for them, though. They're only a couple of games out now, 2 in the loss column, 2.5 overall as they got the win in Baltimore. Tonight, you've got CC Sabathia, Jeremy Hellickson. We'll have it on the Fan at 6:25. Blue Jays did beat the Red Sox last night, 10-4.
How many American League teams do you think right now are average more fans than the Yankees?
That's not the question. The
I'm
question.
asking.
That wasn't the point you were
I
making.
did not.
He was just
It's a
pointing
new
out.
question.
Yeah, he was just pointing out the attendance.
Is this a new
weekend.
question
That's
or
It's
an
a
old
new question. I'm just asking a new question.
It's a new report or an old
Well, I would say percentage-wise, Boston still outdraws them.
Not
in terms of capacity, because you can't put more people in than it
now we're
holds.
going percentage-wise?
Well, how do you want me to otherwise do that? If the place only holds 39,000, they clearly can't have as many as the Yankees.
That's
but
also
they can,
true.
But they can sell out every game. So I would say Boston, and that might be the only team. Because I don't think the Astros are selling out every game as good as they are, and I don't think Cleveland sells out every game as good as they are.
Well, I can only give you what I have in front of me.
Okay.
Average, the attendance, the actual numbers.
So, yeah.
The Dodgers are number 1.
Right. You don't have percentage, though?
If I had it, I'd give it to you. I don't have it.
All right, got it. All right.
It's not. There's a thing for
Yelling
it,
at me.
but it ain't coming up.
Right.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Tampa averages 15,562 people a game.
Sounds about right.
Why that team's allowed to still play baseball is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
The New York Mets, the claim is that they
20?
average 31,610. These are tickets sold.
Well,
These
it's-
not
right. It's not
these
people
not
in the seats.
asses and seats.
Right.
Because if it was asses and seats, the Mets probably like 11,000.
It would not be 11,000.
Maybe 12.
Will you stop?
Ballpark. About 12.
20, probably.
The Dodgers, I gave you number 1, 45,925. Then comes St. Louis. Great testament to the fandom there.
I think if you look now, you just
Zip
said to
your
yourself,
lip.
how many
Then
teams
comes
are
San
over,
Francisco.
like 3 million in total attendance?
Thus, so far through what I have in front of me, 1.
Yes. Well, okay.
Okay. They've played 4 more games.
What about the American League teams?
Oh, American League. That would be the New York Yankees. They lead the American League in attendance.
What is the attendance of the Red Sox?
The Red Sox,
because they don't hold as many. I'm
average
just curious.
36,000 and change. The Yankees average 40,000 and change.
Right,
Call
but
it
again,
41.
right.
Just saying.
I'm just not sure what a sellout at Fenway is. It's not 47,000
Would
like
not
Yankee
be hard
Stadium.
to find that out. That's a
I
it's
don't
not
think-
even a stadium. It's a park.
I don't think that holds more than 38.
Just Google
I've
it.
never been there. Couldn't tell you.
You've never been to Fenway?
Did I stutter?
You did not stutter.
You
I'm
know
just,
what's amazing? Cincinnati's a
puzzled
great
by
baseball
that.
I've never been to
town.
Fenway.
Cincinnati's a great
Yes.
baseball town. They will not eclipse,
because they're terrible.
Because they suck.
They've got a
70
couple
home appearances, 70 home games. They've only had 1.6 million people.
Capacity at Fenway's 38,000.
They've probably got 3 good players on that team. Is what 37,000? 38,000.
38. So there you go. Anyway, that was a waste of everyone's time.
Yes.
I suppose. Anyway, what else? Mets, well, they won, but nobody cares. David Wright will have surgery on the rotator cuff today. You got Jacob deGrom tonight against Ben Lively. Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 13-0. J.D. Martinez hit 4 home runs in that game. They've won 11
That's the
straight
first time
games.
in baseball history that's happened twice in a season.
Who? Oh, Scooter Gennett had the 4. That's right, for the Reds. Right. And the Indians.
And by the way, the Yankees sold out 2 out of the 4 games.
I said
So
Thursday and
half of
Friday.
them.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
They sold out half of them.
Craigie just got his email. He just got his email right
Clearly.
now.
Can I give you facts?
Yes, but again, you're taking this like this is an insult. It's not a shot. It's a
And it's not
fact
you
that
guys
I
have
was
any
surprised
reason not to
that
like
the
the
Yankees, who are the
people
most, you can argue, are one of the top 3 most dynamic teams in baseball. Would you agree with that? The Yankees.
Yes.
I think, right? You got the Dodgers. You got whatever.
Dodgers
Maybe
and
the
Yankees
and
are
then the
2.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Yankee
I'm
Biatch.
surprised that they didn't sell out all 4 games against the Red Sox. That's all.
Thunderstorms.
You said it was amazing crowds, and they were
sold
great.
out 2 of the 4
but
games.
they didn't sell out 2.
By the way,
Yankees, Red Sox in September, Boomer. How's that possible?
You can't blame the Yankees for not selling out.
Who do you blame?
The people for not going.
You have an answer for
The
everything.
Yankees did their part. They went out and acquired 7 guys.
Yes.
Show up.
And they're a dynamic team, and
They
they're
still
fun to
averaged
watch.
over 40,000 for the weekend. That's 160,000 people that were in the Bronx.
They did.
Yankee bitch.
That's what you are.
Yankee bitch.
No,
Yankee
Yankee
bitch.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No, I'm not a
Yankee bitch.
Yes, you are.
Biatch.
And by the way, the governor keeps saying that. How about you pay your cable bill so I can watch the fighting house?
Yankee Biatch.
Yankee biatch. You're a Yankee bitch. I got DirecTV. Oh, look, let's watch the fight on a 3-inch phone. How about you prepare yourself for a party?
So?
Yeah,
So what?
Did you take pictures of this?
No, you want to see a picture of Al Dukes?
I would like to.
I'll show you a picture of Al Dukes.
Oh, at the party?
Government is so screwed up.
I'll show you a picture of Al Dukes. Al Dukes embarrassed himself. He
What
shows
did
up
you
9
do?
hours late. To his credit, his girlfriend was like, I'll get the app, I'll download it, whatever you guys need. And she downloaded 5 apps, right? She probably cost herself $400 trying to do it, right? But she was in. She was all in. I'll get the app. Craig, there's a free service. Steal it from this guy. Like, she was in, right? I look over to Al.
No, come on. You were sleeping at the governor's house?
It was so
then-
late. Boomer
It was
knows.
so late.
God.
Then,
But you were out.
As soon as I saw that the governor was getting it via an app, I
was
was like,
pissed,
oh, this is
too.
going to be fun.
He
This
was
will be
pissed.
fun to watch.
I thought he was going to file the first class action lawsuit in New Jersey, but I guess he was busy doing something else.
Just goes to show you the incompetence of government.
Well, what happened was the DEP owns the house.
Yeah, I get it.
They signed up for a commercial account.
Of course they did.
Morons.
Why would you do that? Why would you sign up for a commercial account?
So they tried to switch it to residential, and DirecTV said that will take
Of
longer
course
than a day.
not. Of course not. This
Right,
is
because
stupid.
flipping that one dopey little switch in Pakistan prevents us from getting the fight as a residence.
Right.
Anyway.
I want to see this
you
picture.
think North Korea is the problem. It's really Pakistan and the TV.
Right.
They better not screw up your NFL TV package this week.
So
Sure, they'll be
here's Al Dukes when the fight started.
Oh, my God.
Mrs. Pussy Feathers.
Out cold. So the person that took that sent it around. Turns out Al took a picture of that person. That person was seen like that.
But this was a jumping party, huh?
I was outside DJing on the beach. I don't know what was going on
you were.
until the fight started.
And I'd probably get on the pleasure train.
Maybe. And I was asked to save the day because, some people aren't prepared for the big event.
Right.
You think you would have tested the app, made sure you were connected, had DirecTV locked.
I don't think it's his fault the app didn't work.
No. If you came to my house for a Super Bowl party,
it'd be done.
and you couldn't watch the Super Bowl,
I get it.
would I,
But,
you'd be pissed at me?
if your satellite or your cable goes out, that's not your fault.
No. Prepare.
I
You have 43
how is he
people.
supposed why does the DEP have that thing on a commercial account?
Fair enough, but why did the app not work? That's not his fault.
Steven Espinosa screwed that
Well, no,
up.
I think it's his fault either.
No.
You know,
it's
somebody,
not,
you know what
it's
it
not
was?
his fault.
I'll tell you, it reminded me of something that we ended up enduring here.
What would that be, Boom?
That would be our Christmas lunch that we were supposed to have at a restaurant that didn't open for us. And then we were marching all around the East Village trying to find a restaurant.
First off, it was open.
I'm saying, you would think that the idiot would have this prepared for us.
I had it prepared.
Oh, and pinatas
The
for
Subway.
everybody. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Meantime,
right.
they
When
were
we get there,
nice.
there's nobody there.
No, well, the guy
So
was
you were
late.
you were not
The
prepared.
empanada cook was on a bad Subway. This is my fault.
And when he got there, totally unknowing that he had to make this
that you
for
would
us.
be prepared, right, Eddie?
Yeah, you would think.
I think the best part of that was the image of him walking 30 feet ahead of us on his phone frantically,
Not
looking
frantic
for a
at all. I had a
place.
backup plan.
Not so much.
I had a
We
great
were walking in
backup plan.
circles.
Did we have fried chicken?
The WFAN morning show, walking aimlessly around the
We were like
streets
sheep
of the
following
East
him.
Village. Yeah, because this is what he does every day.
I walked ahead of you on purpose so I wouldn't have to hear you bull crap. Hey, the empanada guy's late. So wait 5 minutes. The empanadas are the best in New York City, right?
No.
I mean,
You could not have waited.
And then I found you a
Not
great
anymore,
place.
they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No,
Boomer
they're not.
refuses to go now.
I ain't going.
You're just hurting yourself is all you're
I'm
doing.
hurting myself.
Then, of course, I take you guys to a great place for lunch. Yeah!
It was good.
You damn right it was
That
good.
was all right.
Once you figured that out, we were good.
I had a backup.
Just to sit down after walking around a couple miles was just nice. Give me an iced tea, please. Oh. I mean, you always screamed about somebody else's problems. You created
Did
your
I
own right
take
there.
care of lunch that day or not?
Well, and he
Yes.
tried
2 hours
taking
late.
care of it too at the app, and it didn't work.
The empanada guy was on a bad Subway. Like you guys have never experienced
By
that
the way,
before.
that's a bunch of crap,
That
too.
is a bunch of crap.
That
Why is that
guy
a
walked
bunch
in
of
and basically
crap?
said, why are they here?
Yeah, well, he was
why
so
is it-
surprised.
Nothing was set up.
Like,
I'm here.
No silverware on the table, nothing.
right. If you want to blame it on the chef, that's fine. What do you
What'd
blame
you-
for the
what'd
fact
you
that we
want?
stood outside for a half hour waiting for the owner
He's
to
late.
get there?
What, you want a greeding card? Welcome Boomer and Carton's
No,
Christmas
the
party?
door to
I
be
got it all
open.
set up, guys. Don't worry. It's all good.
I did have it
Everything's
all
great.
set
We
up.
get there.
By the way,
Like everything else you do, it's a complete
that
chaos.
place is the best for empanadas.
I'm sure it's awesome.
not.
But
You know,
we
yeah,
didn't
it is.
experience
That's
it.
not.
Yeah, they brought him here the next day because the guy felt so bad.
And
You
they
guys
were
wolfed
great.
him down.
I didn't eat them.
Yeah, you did.
Nope. Nope.
When's our next staff dinner?
No, we're not having one.
I think we should.
Nope.
Oh, I'm too busy. It's football season.
That's right.
I mean, Showtime's done in an hour, and it's on Tuesdays.
That's not done
You
in
can't
an
have dinner
hour.
Or you
Tuesday
poo-poo
night.
everything.
He is
That
just.
takes a long time to do.
No, I've done it. It doesn't take that. It takes
right.
long because they keep doing it over and over
They're
again.
rehearsing
don't.
it.
They shouldn't rehearse. They just do it. Be
That's
real.
what we do. We just
Should do
show
it
up and we
live.
do it.
Should do it live. Is Phil Sims on that again this year?
Yeah.
He screwed me over on the barbecue.
Why? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
of
I'm
course
still
it
waiting
is.
for that phone call.
Yeah, so he lost a bet fair and square. You guys would know
He
nothing
told me
about
he
this.
had the barbecue and you didn't
We
show up.
wouldn't know anything
Wrong.
about it.
I talked to Phil. It was his granddaughter or grandson's second birthday.
Okay.
So it was very awkward. I went fishing. As I said, I was going with Doug Wells. Caught a shark, caught a skate. Not a roller skate, it's like a stingray. Caught some flounder.
So you caught a stingray?
I will say this. I fished off the coast of Sandy Hook where there's naked beach. Don't do that. Fat, middle-aged, and naked is nothing people really need to see.
It's
I don't
not the
care if you're-
Baywatch girls?
I don't care if you're, you like exhibiting and you like being free. I had the binoculars out. It was embarrassing. I mean, breast to the waistline, junk that was like barely there, bush everywhere. Like, get over yourselves.
Right.
Big fat old people just like,
Moist clams.
let's walk down. Bend over so I don't have to see the crack of your ass. Jesus Christ, man.
And I'm sorry, you were looking at it with binoculars.
Damn right I was.
You wanted to get a nice
I
close-up
gave
look.
it to my sons. I want Sonny to check it out. Sonny, that's where it's going, kid. Get what you can get now. I showed it to Anthony. He goes, that's disgusting.
God. Was he 6?
Yeah, 6.5. Anthony caught more fish than all of us.
Well, what did he say?
He goes, is that what it looks like? He was very upset. Like his whole life flashed before his 6-year-old eyes.
God.
In any event, I don't know what I was getting at there, but I did go fishing Sandy Hook. And then I called Phil up, and we're supposed to have this big barbecue, right? And he goes, well, we're having 35 relatives over.
Yeah, so what's wrong with that?
That's not my place to come with my kids and fish.
So you thought that by him saying that him saying that was like, hey, you better not come.
Right. So I go, all right, I guess you want a rain check. He goes, that'd be great. He goes, or feel free to stop by. Now, I was in Monmouth County near Long Branch fishing. Do you know where, what's it called again? Franklin Lakes is?
Yeah, north.
It's
Hour and a half.
Montreal. Hour and a half. Yeah, okay, hour and a half. On a Friday at 5 o'clock going to a holiday weekend.
Doesn't he live like on the biggest lake in Franklin Lake?
He owns the lake, Franklin Lake. It's his lake.
It's like Lake Tahoe,
So
right?
I'm thinking about, I'm going like, kids, we could go to Sims. He owes us the barbecue and all, whatever. And then they're like, no. 35 Sims in one place?
Yes.
So then Chris sends me a text. He goes, are you coming? I go, to what? The Sims family barbecue to celebrate little Sims' birthday? No. I got a rain check. I'll never see it.
You'll never see it.
And he claimed he was playing ping pong all morning, practicing for me. I spot Phil 10-21. He doesn't win.
Screw Phil Sims. Screw Chris Sims.
Oh, God, now I'm going to have to listen to this.
Yes, this was a thing.
Oh.
Phil Sims.
This was a thing. Phil says he can take him, and Craig says there's no chance.
Trust me. I've handicapped Phil Sims' ping pong game. It's non-existent.
I would think he'd be kind of stiff.
Right. Stiff and old. Just make him move a little bit. Game over. Make him take 3 steps left and right. Oh, my back. I win. You lose. Give me a chicken. Anyway, that's that.
Got it.
So, Mayor, you can see Phil Sims tonight with Boomer and Ray Lewis and James Brown. I think I have it all right. For Inside the NFL, it's on Showtime at 10 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, pardon me.
I believe it's 9 Eastern.
9 to 10?
Yep, and then I know they play it again as well. So
Yes.
a little bit later.
So get it whenever you want it.
There you go.
DVR it. We'll get back to the Yankee conversation.
It's football
why
season, baby.
Gary Sanchez might be the most important Yankee down the stretch. Plus, what did Maryland do this weekend in football?
Oh, they beat Texas, baby.
Brother Supply.
All right, it's 9:06 on the Fan coming to you from the Investors Bank studio. Let's get back to the phones. Let's go to Bobby in Smithtown. Bobby, you're on with Boomer and Craig. What's happening, brother?
Hey, Boomer.
What's cooking, handsome?
What's going on, Bobby?
Bagel Craigie.
Yes.
How you doing?
We're good. We're good,
Wanted
man.
To give, of course, Jerry, Eddie, and Al also. I just wanted to give you guys a happy anniversary. And thank you for all the pleasure and enjoyment you guys have brought me.
Sure, that's very kind of you. What's on your mind today?
I just wanted to say hi. I could talk to you guys forever, ask you a million questions, say a million things, but...
What's the single worst loss you've ever suffered gambling?
Gambler? I was never a big gambler, but the worst loss that I ever suffered, without a doubt, as a sports fan, was as my friend Craig, there's not many people that agree, the Super Bowl III, my Baltimore Colts losing to Joe Willie Big Mouth, making a half...
How about so you were a Baltimore Colt fan, see?
Baltimore Colt fan as much as I ever was a Yankee fan.
Everyone's got a story, Boom. Everyone's got that one game where they ripped your heart out.
Oh, it did to this day. I still have nightmares about the game. I was 14. I didn't go to school for days.
Right.
Oh, man, it was devastating. The only other one I could say was Mariano maybe throwing the ball into center field, because that was definitely a victory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say to Craigie, even though he might have been a Malloy front runner at one point, he rooted for the Yankees in 2009. I know he can't stand.
That was my anti-Philly thing, of course.
Yeah. Bobby, thank you so much for the call and thanks for listening. You know, the fact of the matter is
that's how it all started.
They bought you, and you
I wasn't
right
bought.
in. You were bought.
You and I both had a charity component with them with the bracelets.
I just want to say thank you to Vicky for bringing in our cake here, celebrating our start of our 11th year here at WFAN. A nice Fudgy the Whale cake, the only way to celebrate anything.
Yes.
It's Fudgy the Whale.
What says celebration if not the Fudgy the Whale cake?
That's exactly right.
I relax with the thumbs. Let me do what I do. You just sit there and
Let's
do
go to
what you
Danny
do.
in Long Beach. Danny, how are you? You're on with Boomer and
Christ.
Greggy. What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, buddy boy.
All right, I just want to bring up the Sabathia thing with the bunting. Did you ever hear of a batter complaining about them putting on a shift? Isn't that playing to a player's weakness also?
Or how about a pitcher throwing high and tight?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, just play your position. If you're on the mound, you're expected to field bunts.
And by the way,
That's all there is to it.
he's fielded every bunt, unless I missed one perfectly, and gotten the out.
Why did
Just
he get the
pisses
other
him
out?
off.
Last week he didn't get the out. You want to cut a piece?
Yeah, cut a piece for yourself right there.
All right, that's
Listen,
too high. You gotta cut
it's
it.
really strange to hear a guy like Sabathia complain anyway.
Yeah.
But I will say this: he acknowledged it brought the competitive edge out of him a little bit more and made him want to really beat them down. And speaking of which, would you have ever thought that Nunez would have been such a key player in a pennant run?
Oh,
Noonie?
The fact that the Red Sox picked him up and added some
Get
speed
your
to this.
thumbs
I wanna go
off
to
my
Mike in Brooklyn.
screen.
Mike in Brooklyn's
I'm going to
got a-
get to everybody.
Mike in Brooklyn's got a very good point to make. And Mike, what is it?
Boomer and Con, you two guys, window throwing, motor boating, snow blowing son of a bitches.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we are, baby.
That's right.
I got two questions for you. First, the Grand Poobah's countdown. Carton, did you start it yet?
I started it a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but what are we up to right now? As of today, we are back. So
You
I
want me
wanna
to tell
know-
you the exact number?
Oh, give it to me if I make the second point to you guys. I have one question. I was at the game the other day.
Oh, so good.
Now, Sanchez keeps running out to Tanaka. Now, both of these guys do press conferences all the time after their games. They both got interpreters. Did Sanchez all of a sudden learn how to speak Japanese before English? I'm confused.
It's funny. I've always wondered that also, why they lean on the interpreter post-game, but during the game, they clearly get each other. So it's very, you have one guy who
I would think that they both speak broken English to
and
one
enough
another.
about baseball, like
And they-
fastball.
Right, they know.
curveball.
That's what I would think.
Right?
That's a good question.
Or
Maybe-
they make it by numbers. Hey, give me the one. Just keep giving me the one.
Maybe Susan in her manager's report could
Of
ask
all
Joe
the
Girardi.
dramatic things, I'm now the interpreter for 7 different languages. I'm a cunning, what do you call it? I'm a linguist. That's what it was. Hey, thank you, John. I'm on the field now with another non-English speaking player. I can interpret it. Thank you, Tony. All good. By the way,
Gracias.
102 days, 6 hours
Yeah.
till December 15th.
Gracias.
De nada. How's that cake working out for you?
Oh, so good. Oh.
You like that? Al, you want to have a piece of cake?
I would like cake, yeah.
You do like cake?
Al, you're a cake eater. Get in here.
Yeah. Al went to the
This
governor's
is
to
like
embarrass himself.
Ice cream cake.
That's how Al does it, though.
Yeah.
Came late, brought nothing.
Happy anniversary.
His
Al.
girlfriend's really the one that it's fun to be with, you know?
Yeah, I know.
She's trying to get illegal apps for us, or legal apps, any kind of app. She brought a nice bottle of booze.
She's a fun in
Shows
that
up ready to
relationship.
have a good time. Didn't fall asleep on the couch. She watched the fight, asking questions. Who do you have after round one? Look at McGregor's junk at the press conference. All she was in, man. Al's like,
Okay.
which one's McGregor? And then did you see the video of Mayweather taking his money out of the casino?
Yes.
$3 million right there.
I wonder if the IRS had any interest in that.
Cash, $3 million into the back of an SUV. Right?
Was that after the fight?
Yeah.
Was that his payday or
No,
what was that?
no. He was going to get.
What is that?
The way they had it, he was this little freezer burn, by the way, Biggie. He was guaranteed a minimum of $100 million. McGregor was guaranteed a minimum of 30. Then, based on the pay-per-views,
Right, so they'll get more.
So the thought is that if they actually pay, let's just use $6 million as the pay-per-view number.
Okay.
At $100 a pop.
Yep.
That's $600 million.
Yeah, no kidding.
So how that gets split up, there's a good chance that of the 600, $200 million of that go to the fighters, and he gets a bigger piece of that.
And then the networks and UFC and all that. other
UFC
stuff?
gets a piece, Fox gets a piece, Showtime gets a piece, and it was not sold out. There were about 3,000 because people don't want to spend the money. It was absurd.
Well, you got to make it. You got to make it affordable. I don't know why. I don't know why.
The nosebleeds were 1,000
Yeah, but the
face
thing that
value.
bothers me about the whole thing is that you're selling this thing like crazy pay-per-view wise.
Yep.
Why not make it affordable for people to attend it?
Because Because they never do. Now, the 3,000 unsold
But I don't
tickets.
understand why.
Because the thought is that people are willing to pay absurd amounts.
I think it's
like it was $1,000 nosebleeds face value. And you couldn't get them face value. So there are guys. I mean, those brokers took a bath on that for sure. Because you couldn't. Who are you selling the tickets to? A couple of casinos bought some, but MGM Grand controlled it. You know,
right?
Because it's their essentially it's their
no,
fight.
No, it was at the arena.
T-Mobile, but it's an MGM Grand production.
Oh, it is.
So I would not be surprised when it all comes out. I would tell you that Mayweather makes $280 million.
Holy crap!
I bet you in between 250 and 300 will be his take, and McGregor will be just north of 100 million. I bet.
What did you think of the fight overall?
I thought it was a good fight.
You did?
Yeah. I thought it was a better
People
fight.
said that what's his name? Mayweather was more aggressive than
far more aggressive than he was against Pacquiao for sure. And he tried to make a wager. I don't know if it was a $40,000 wager, I think it was $400,000 wager, that the fight would be under 9.5 rounds. And when
so he tried to wager on himself.
He tried to bet on himself,
and they wouldn't let him.
And he would have won the wager. They would not let him They would not let him put that bet in. He could bet on just winning the fight, which I don't know what he did or didn't do. But they wouldn't let him make that wager.
Would they? So therefore, they would not let, say, like a McGregor to wager on himself losing.
No, of course not.
Right.
No, you can bet on yourself to win. That's it. Doesn't mean guys don't have buddies.
Right.
Making wagers.
Let's
for
go to Petey in Brooklyn. Petey, you're on with Boomer and Carton. What's happening?
What's up, boys?
All right.
Craigie, you're the former combat sports aficionado. What happened to Conor McGregor's power? Because when he hit him with that uppercut in the first or second round, that could have been all she wrote right there, Craigie.
Yeah, I agree. But, he caught him. It wasn't with his left. It was with his right, number one. And you're talking about a guy who's been around who was able to take, he hit him a couple times with some jabs, et cetera. But that one uppercut did nothing to him. Now, it turns out there was a report that came out yesterday that McGregor had some kind of brain issue based on the punches that he took when he was all loopy.
You mean after the fight?
When they stopped the fight? Now, I
You
don't
mean
think...
McGregor,
excuse me. I wasn't happy that they stopped it when they stopped it.
Why?
I kind of felt let down. Like, let him knock him down, knock him out, whatever it is. I thought you could have let him go another couple punches because he missed the last 3 or 4. And I thought he stopped it early.
Right.
That being said, it was clear that's a guy, maybe the greatest boxer of certainly of his weight class of all time, against a guy who was submersed into boxing.
You know what? I do give.
It was a good fight,
but
though.
you got to give McGregor a lot of credit for getting in there, because it wouldn't happen the other way around.
No, because that wouldn't be a 30-second fight.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought McGregor fought well. Those hammer fists to the back end weren't cool. But listen, he went damn near the distance with arguably the best of all time.
Do you think the best of all time let him go the distance, that he wanted to put on a show?
I think he let him go a couple
you know why?
rounds.
Because Mayweather got so ridiculed after the Pacquiao fight.
I thought McGregor won the first 2, maybe 3 rounds.
You think he let him do that?
Yes, I do.
So
Not about let him win it, but I think he was.
He made it more engaged. Like he was more engaged.
They made a really good point after the fight that the longest fight in McGregor's life is 25 minutes.
Right.
Once they got past 25 minutes, downhill.
Right.
And they were right about that. And this guy's you couldn't be in better aerobic shape than McGregor was. Like, that guy was in shape.
Right.
And once they got to round 7, it was over. Anyway, Boomer and Carton on the Fan. Maybe round 8. What did I say, round 7? Boomer Carton on the Fan, 877-337-6666. Toll free, of course, our friends at Mohegan Sun, Investors Bank Studio. CBS Sportsman's made possible by 2 by London. Visit the engagement experts at Americana Manhasset. And
that will be, now the way I look at this is that they are the number 1 team in the NFC. The Giants are no longer the number 1 team. Green Bay doesn't have a defense, even though they just signed Aldon Smith. The Lions have Matthew Stafford. The Cowboys got all sorts of drama down there. I don't know what's going on with their defense. Who knows what's going on with Ezekiel Elliott? Is Dak Prescott going to be able to take the next step? Right? I mean, you think about all of this. Arizona will be a good team. Carolina should be a good team. Atlanta should be a good team. But I don't think any of those teams have the defense that the Seattle Seahawks are going to throw out there. I figured they were going to have the number 1 defense in the NFC anyway.
Right.
Now they add Sheldon Richardson to that mix.
No, the question is going to be offense, not defense.
So that's the one thing I take away, that the Jets did a solid for Sheldon Richardson.
They did a solid for themselves. Getting a second-round pick's huge.
Well, that's the other thing. So remember, the Cleveland Browns essentially paid the Houston Texans $16 million because they took on Brock Osweiler's guaranteed contract. But they also got a second-round draft choice along with that contract. And then what did the Cleveland Browns do? They cut Brock Osweiler, who just signed with the Denver Broncos for the veteran minimum of $775,000. So that means the Cleveland Browns are still on the docket for like $15.2 million. So think about that.
It's very amazing where Brock Osweiler's gone in the last 18 months.
That's right. So,
but he cashed in, so good for him.
And now he goes back home to where he actually played reasonably well and had his best moments. But for the Jets, what do the Jets do? They get that second-round draft choice. That's great. And they get a legitimate receiver. They get a Super Bowl champion. They get a guy by all accounts who's he works hard. He's got a great attitude. He was an Army brat growing up. He went to the University of Washington, undrafted out of college, and made himself into the receiver that he became. So he's saying all the right things. Given the fact that the Jets are not going anywhere this year, and you all have to understand that. That's a good move by Mike Maccagnan.
He got a second-round pick on a player that he was going to lose in March for nothing. Kurtz has to be pissed, not because he has anything against the Jets, but you go from a Super Bowl
he may be, but you know what? He's
done it right.
He's saying all the right things.
Why talk about Seattle? I'm a Jet. I'm going to do whatever I can to help the Jets win.
The controversy surrounding the whole Sheldon Richardson thing really was like Manish Mehta saying people within the building over there at Florham Park were upset by the trading of Sheldon Richardson. That's a bunch of crap.
I can see Mo Wilk being upset. He's a friend and a teammate. I get that for sure. But listen, Mike Maccagnan made a move which was preemptive to losing the guy for nothing, and I don't care what anyone says. A second-round draft pick's worth a lot.
But they have three guys for two positions. Now Mo Wilkerson and Leonard Williams are your defensive ends.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. It looks like I think Sheldon may play some defensive tackle out in
I was
Seattle.
happy with it.
But why wouldn't you be? And the other, wrap your head around this for 1 second, okay?
All right.
The Jets and the Bills are in total rebuild mode right now. And they're trying to acquire as many draft picks as they can. They're actually utilizing, I think, what New England had utilized for many, many years, and now what Cleveland has really utilized the last 2 years. And that is trying to build through the draft and acquiring as many of those assets, because you never know where those assets are going to be used. Could they be used in the draft? Yes. Could they be used in the draft to draft the player? Yes. Could they be used in the draft to trade to get up to get another player?
100%.
So that's why these general managers are trying to do what they're doing up in. I'm trying to think of how many teams are trying to do this. Cleveland's doing it. Buffalo's doing it.
Easy.
I know the Jets are doing it. And they're recognizing, look, we got to get one of these top quarterbacks next year.
And there's a whole bunch coming out.
It seems like there's at least three of them right now that probably will go in the top 10.
Let me ask you
never
this.
how those things. Sam Darnold may want to stay an extra year at USC. You don't know.
When the kid at UCLA did the fake spike to help them come back and win that game, how quickly was your phone ringing about fake spikes?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it did.
No, it wasn't.
I called you twice.
No, I know, but I didn't answer.
You're going to tell me nobody else called you after the fake spike? Dude, come on. I know you're not like talking about it, but
I understand. Every
give
time
me a break,
by the way,
Whitey.
every time a quarterback goes up there to kill the clock now, everybody's thinking that he's faking it and throwing it. So it's not like he's catching anybody off guard. As a matter of fact, the Texas A&M defense collapsed like in such a way that they had to in order to allow a comeback of that magnitude. Did you see the defensive back of the ball go through his hands at the 15-yard line or something, and it goes right through his hands and hits the guy behind him, the UCLA wide receiver, right in the chest behind him for a touchdown. I mean, that's how those comeback things happen. I thought
it was great that it was Josh Rosen to So-So Jamabo. So he fake spikes said, nobody but me called you.
30 seconds to go. I believe Marino is saying, I'm going to spike it. Marino back, and he looks to the right side. Throws. Touchdown, Ingram. It was a fake. Marino was faking. He pretended as if he was going to spike by making that motion, and the Jets just relaxed on defense, and Marino threw it to Ingram, who was standing there like a house by the side of the road.
Happy anniversary, Boomer.
Thank you very much. But you know,
Nobody called you?
Nobody.
I was like, my boy's got to be getting
that game was
up.
like 23 years ago, and ever since that game, all anybody ever does when somebody goes up there to spike it, they think they're going to fake it, and everybody knows it. So who cares?
There is one weird aspect.
By the way, Aaron Glenn was on.
He played
it perfectly.
He was
Marvin
right there.
Washington was going 100 miles an hour. You go back and watch it. That thing is so blown out of proportion that it's like the butt fumble.
There was one weird part of it.
It capped a huge comeback.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I
changed the franchise.
And by the
forever.
way, that wasn't Dan Marino who came up with that play.
That was Bernie Kosar,
who was his backup quarterback, who tried to do it to us in Cincinnati many, many, many years before that.
Still,
and it didn't work.
Here's what's weird about
so
these.
Stop making it something
let it
that
go,
it's not.
Boomer. Jesus
you let
Christ.
it go.
You're having a tough time.
Eddie, you
with
let it go,
this.
you idiot.
You're having a tough time. Look at you defending it 30 years later.
It's so blown out of proportion. It's not even funny.
The craziest thing about the UCLA play this weekend is that the clock wasn't even running. Because the play before it was I think was a first down on 4th and 6, right?
Yes.
And he went out of bounds.
Right.
Or questionably, but they got to move the chains anyway. They stopped it
That's
for that.
exactly right.
So
yes.
he gets up there going like he's going to spike it.
And that touchdown was not a touchdown.
Now,
You look at
it was unclear if he was out of bounds on the play before, but the clock was stopped.
But on the actual touchdown,
You think he was out
did
of
not
bounds?
have control. And then
I'm going to look at it again right now. Hold on.
Oh, Eddie, maybe you
Fake
should be
spike,
the head of replaying.
throws it.
Sure, why not?
He's clearly got it in possession. What are you talking about?
Just watch it slow motion.
I will say, though, that Josh Rosen, he looked
like he wants to play in Sundays. I like when they say that. He's playing on Saturdays, but that kid's got a future playing on Sundays.
Although, boom, like you said, that one pass that went right to, he just threw that up there. That was a prayer.
That could have
and
easily been
the
picked off and
last
game
touchdown.
over.
Also, same thing, back foot, just flung it up there.
Sometimes you got to have those breaks,
Oh,
man.
you
some
have to,
guys, some
absolutely.
guys have plays like that and happen all the time, like Aaron Rodgers. For some reason, when he throws a Hail Mary, there's a very good chance it's going to be complete, right?
Right, and that was the whole
And they've
great
taken-
Aaron Rodgers.
Right,
when
and
he
they,
threw
well,
it for
but
grabs.
they've also taken the Hail Mary play and created a legitimate play out of it because of his arm strength and his ability to move out of the pocket.
Well, Eddie might have a point here. That right foot, you don't think that right foot's in? I can't see from this angle.
And when he has it, then he loses it, and then this next step is out.
All right. Well, interesting. Anyway, it was a great game. Let me quickly get to Chris in Connecticut, and we'll take care of some business here. Chrissy, what do you got, buddy? Oh, I'm so glad I took time to go to you. Chrissy Bones. Oh. Well, I can't go to the rest of you on board right now because Al will get mad at me. 877-337.
You know what I don't understand now?
6666.
You hand me my sheets for my live reads, and you tell me Craig has to go first on this particular live read. I realize it. Now look at Craig's deal over there. He's got a vertically written, spot. Mine are still horizontal.
And that was printed months ago. So rather
you're
than
sitting here telling me that
reprint
they
it,
can't reprint these the other way.
but that's what they're telling us.
What do you mean? Who's telling you that?
People.
The people.
What people?
Those people.
The people.
They.
There's a new system called
for 10 years we've
wide
been doing
orbit.
it one way, and now it's called wide orbit.
I believe.
We'll tell them to widen their range.
There you go. Let's go.
Horizontal orbit.
Portrait, not
You
landscape.
want vertical.
Yes, I want vertical.
Yeah.
He's a vertical guy. Football's coming. Football's. Al Dukes told me he was jealous of my DJing and he wanted to mix a couple songs into the new year for us. We go by the Jewish calendar here on Boomer and Carton. September 5th is actually our January 1st. Contractually, it's like August 19th, but that's another thing.
Bring up the news. Hurricane Irma has now been upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane.
Really?
They're still not sure about the track for it. Hurricane Sandy started south of Cuba and went straight up the coast. This is coming in from the east, and it is very slowly moving, but a very big big storm, and they're not sure yet about the track and how it will affect the East Coast. I know the state of Florida has already issued emergency warnings and everything, disaster areas, all that kind of stuff, all the declarations that need to be made by the government. God forbid if this thing goes south and ends up into the Gulf of Mexico again, and then heads up towards, Louisiana, western Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. Man, I don't know those poor people if they could take another direct hit. And for those of us on the East Coast, I would just tell you now, somewhere, somehow, something's going to be coming up here.
Well,
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know the size of it, but it is a Category 5 storm right now. And I would just say, start thinking about it now. Don't wait until 2 days before if this thing takes a turn to the north.
Well, what Jerry said is right. This weekend, it's going to negatively impact southern Florida, almost coast to coast. It looks like by Saturday early morning, so Friday night into Saturday morning, it's going to be touching on Cuba. And then it looks like it'll have an impact by Sunday morning as far south as the Keys, as far north as, well, it depends what model you want to look at, but, Boca and north of there.
That means they got to be thinking about moving that Dolphin and Buck game for sure.
And I saw possibly as early as Thursday.
But where would they what do you mean? They would play
moving
it
to Thursday
time
or Friday.
So they would have it played much like opening night in New England.
Yeah.
So do a doubleheader Thursday.
Well, it wouldn't be a doubleheader. They'd be same Eastern time, and only the people in Tampa Bay and Miami would then get that game.
Or go Thursday, Friday.
Right.
You could still stagger the start times.
The thing about that's a CBS. That would be a Fox.
That's a
game.
Fox
That's
game.
a
They
Fox
could air
game.
it. I don't know what they have got going on Friday night.
They would not air it to start at the same time as the
No, they wouldn't do
Chiefs
that to
Patriots.
NBC. No.
No shot.
Correct.
So
That's why
I'm-
Friday is more viable.
Depending on the weather, right? So what time is Thursday? 8 o'clock? Boom? Or 9?
8:35.
8:35. It's like a normal. It's like a normal Sunday
All
night
right.
game.
Right.
So you're almost up against it. I mean, we're going to start the game at 9 o'clock at night. You could.
No, they would do it on. They would do it Friday night if they felt like there was enough time to do it.
Friday
I would
at
imagine.
7 or something like that.
I haven't heard anything from the NFL yet, so I think we're all just speculating on this. But
Well, I'm sure the NFL's sitting in the room right now going, what the F?
Yeah, I mean, but this storm is just.
No, they're in a room saying,
enormous.
okay, when are we doing it? It's not going to happen Sunday. That's what they're saying.
I think they
I don't
know
think
it's
there's
not
any way that game can be
No
played
shot.
Sunday. No shot at all. Just to give you how people, as you say, are being prepared based on what happened in Houston, and at least in Florida there is some experience with obviously hurricanes and bad
there's
storms.
There's experience with floods in Houston. Doesn't mean that you're.
No, 50 inches in a day and a half.
But they've had 3 major floods in 3 straight
I
years.
get it.
They're interviewing people down there that this is the 3rd year in the row that they've lost their house.
Publix is the big supermarket chain in South Florida. They have sold out. Every Publix has sold out of all bottled water already.
Right.
So people are obviously getting themselves prepared for it. And it seems so cavalier to reference it in the context of a sporting event, but you have to because, listen, the NFL is the NFL and people, build vacations around it and lifestyles around it and spend a lot of money planning on what their NFL Sunday, or for that matter, that part of the world, college football Saturday is huge. From Gainesville on down.
I think Gainesville is playing, and I think Florida State, but those are maybe unaffected areas. But you never know.
Assuming that this thing stays south.
But Florida International is playing, and they're in Miami. But so they'll have to do something
If
with that.
this thing goes across Florida into the Gulf and then right up into that whole area that was just hit again, man.
Jerry Recco is here. Jerry, what do you have?
We are brought to you.
Bobby V's in Stanford and teach Bobby how to swing a bat.
Jesus.
Maybe
You're
we'll make
terrible,
like a
man.
lunch special.
You're terrible.
He is officially retired from playing now.
By the way,
officially.
felt a little slighted that night, must say.
Why?
I mean, of all the people that did not get introduced, I didn't even get an introduction as the first base coach. Got nothing. Got
None of the
absolutely
coaches got
nothing.
introduced,
I
only
was
the
the only
players.
one. There's no other coach.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. Were you there?
What do you mean you didn't see me?
I saw
we
you
talked.
leave. I didn't see you get
We
there.
spoke.
But you weren't in the lineup. I was just announcing the lineup.
I
should have
mean, should I
introduced
at
you.
least say he's here?
I should have
there
had you
he
bat
is?
since
I
Bobby
mean,
Valentine
something.
never played baseball.
I mean, geez, but that's okay.
Let me apologize.
You know,
to
it's
you
fine.
for that. I'm
You know,
sorry.
you
Is that
were-
why you left early?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I had a meeting. I told you that.
It's weird. time to have a meeting?
I had an 8:30 meeting.
And he worked Friday.
Which was moved to 8:30 because I had your game that I had to go
Our
to.
game, Jerry. It's our game.
Well, the New Rochelle game is your game. Let's be honest, that we are very happy to be at with you.
No, it's all right. We're a team.
Right.
New Rochelle game is no more important than playing in Staten Island.
It was very important. So the meeting was moved.
Good.
To accommodate.
Did you get the job?
It was not a meeting for a job. What's wrong with you? You guys were wondering all along, I don't know how much time, but if the Rockets sold, what an NBA team would go for right now again.
Yes.
So according to Woj, who says the Rockets have agreed to be sold to Tillman Fertitta for $2.2 billion.
Jesus. I'll tell you that, Lamar Alexander, that guy.
Leslie Alexander.
Leslie
name,
Alexander, right? Okay. He's the former owner. Man, I'll tell you, talk about selling it at the highest point.
$2.2 billion.
It's like when James Dolan sold Cablevision.
So there's another aspect to that's interesting to me as well. Fertitta, by the way, it's the Fertitta family. They were the original founders of UFC. They own Station Casinos out in Nevada. So Tillman Fertitta is worth about $3 billion. Okay? It shows you, though, that how you make your money in some leagues is relevant to you being allowed to buy a team. And in some places, you're not allowed to buy a team, or they look down on it.
So you're saying because of his...
they have casino ownership.
Well,
right?
Yeah, but doesn't the Rooney family own like the Ring?
Yeah, but you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Yeah,
Bill
they
Bidwell,
do.
the Bidwell family is into horse racing and stuff.
My point is, you have the Fertittas, and in particular Tillman Fertitta. He's the president and CEO of a company called Landry's. Landry's has gaming interests. So whereas the NBA, they don't give a damn. The NFL kind of grandfathered guys in. They like to pretend like we don't want anyone associated with gambling involved with the league. The NBA is like, screw it. You got the money? You want to buy it? You conduct legal business in this country? Go right ahead. But $2.2 billion for that team
and the building, I would imagine. Is it the building?
That's got to be everything.
I saw a tweet from Woj. That's all I saw.
It's got to be everything. You're not buying just the Rockets without the building. Everything comes with it for $2.2 billion. That's got to include the building. It's they just announced that.
Woj had it on Twitter.
Well, you would have think they would have pushed that announcement back, just for the sake of not being insensitive.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because in the middle of all that,
I guess business still happens.
You had right. The Texans giving DeAndre Hopkins the $81 million, and good for him. But I thought the same thing.
That had to be announced because of salary cap issues
and all that stuff.
But
Leslie Alexander also probably knew the sale was coming and upped his initial Hurricane donation from $1 million, I think, or $4 million to $10 million.
Great.
Yes, the owner.
The previs owner of
correct.
the
$10 million.
Rockets.
That's right.
Yes.
So, hey, listen, there you go.
I'll tell you, J.J. Watt, man, he's got a lot on his plate right now. A lot.
If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to double check this.
They're at 19.74 right now.
I think I could be. I don't want to say I could be wrong. I think Fertitta owns one of the casinos in Atlantic City. I have to double check that. Look up. I could be dead wrong about it.
Just Google it.
See if he's not the owner of the Golden Nugget.
So you're either buying, like, if you're somebody, I'm trying to think, guys that are in industries that could afford a team like this. You're either hedge fund, right, or you're in some sort of casino ownership.
Well, you know what he bought a couple of years ago? It's one of your favorite restaurants. He bought Mastro's.
He did. Mm-hmm. He bought Mastro's.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
Yeah.
That place is ridiculous.
Yep. I mean, this guy from gaming to hotels to restaurants, bars, Joe's Crab Shack, all that stuff. But they bought
you said
Mastro's.
Landry's. That's that restaurant chain?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
They own Mastro's, which is one of the great steakhouses ever. One of the few steakhouses that actually could come into New York City. Normally starts here and goes out and be successful. They kill it.
Oh, my buddy Jeff Ruby could do it if he wanted to.
Listen,
but
he's a great restaurateur as well.
A little eccentric.
It's hard to come into New York, though.
Yes.
Anyway, good.
Just quickly, Yankees beat the Orioles on Monday 7-4, while the Red Sox lost to the Blue Jays 10-4. So the Yankees will start the day now 2.5 out, 2 in the loss column, behind in the AL East. They also now lead Minnesota by 3 games for the first wild card spot. So all is good for them right now. Tonight you've got CC Sabathia and Jeremy Hellickson making the start as that series continues. Mets and Phillies play again tonight. Jacob deGrom the start. And he said an interesting thing. Yes, I was actually watching the game yesterday, sadly. deGrom and what the hell's his name? Jerry Blevins are the only 2 Mets that have been on the active roster all season long. Just 2.
That's why you suck.
That's it. David Wright to have surgery on the rotator cuff today. Perhaps it's already happened, but that was the schedule today. The Diamondbacks made it 11 straight as J.D. Martinez hit 4 home runs, and the Indians beat the White Sox. That's 12 in a row for them. You got week 1 of the NFL, as we've been discussing. Patriots, Chiefs on Thursday. Bills and Jets on Sunday. Giants, Cowboys on Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott meeting with the arbitrator, I think, right now in somewhere in Texas.
Right
it's not
on.
not near Arlington, but I think it's near Frisco. I think he's in that meeting now.
Coach Jason
or at
Garrett
least
basically
that's-
said he's going to practice until somebody tells him not to practice.
Correct.
Then he's going to be in a problem because then it looks like, I'll tell you, he looks really thick to me.
And
I wonder if he put on any weight from
I think
last
he's always
year.
looked that way. You think he looks bigger? I'm not sure. Quarterfinals, U.S. Open today. Of note, you got Venus Williams and Petra Kvitova, and Sam Querrey, Kevin Anderson, 2 of the 4 matches. Time now for Moment of the Day, brought to you by Resorts World Casino NYC. With over 5,500 games and the highest payouts anywhere, they've got more right next door.
Moment of the day!
Oh, yeah.
Long vacation for some. The show back today, and so is Craig's. Well, probably one of his favorite segments early on. Gregorius, the first Yankee shortstop to have consecutive 20 home run seasons.
Really?
And
the first Yankee shortstop ever, huh?
Ever.
And he was the guest on the OK John segment on The Fan.
Okay, John, I'm down here with Didi Gregorius, who just got the home run ball as Tony Pena. Gracias. Okay. Tony Pena just gave you the ball, your 20th home run?
Yes, he did. He just handed it to me.
That's right.
So we're having a
all
laugh.
the dramatic things. That's Bente Pelotas. 20 balls.
How did you come up with pelotas?
Gracias, Tony Pena.
There you go. Moment of.
And by the way, Landry's does on the Golden Nugget.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Do.
Sounds like Army football to me.
They bought it for $38 million. Put $150 into it. They're doing really well there, too.
There you go. Yeah, Army opened their season this past week by just crushing Fordham.
Fordham has a football team?
Yeah.
Nice.
Had a quarterback in the NFL, right?
That's
Played for
right.
the Cardinals a couple years
That's
ago.
right. He was the guy that suddenly showed up everyone's radar. I think he can play, Billy. West Point's closer than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Only.
Greg Carton.
All right, Boomer and Card on the Fan. Football is back. Labor Day is behind us. It's time to get real. Yankees tonight with the Orioles. CC Sabathia every day. The only place in America for you to watch the New York Yankees coverage and listen to it and talk about it and be knee deep in it is right here on the Fan with me and the Booms. So have a great day. Tonight at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock? 9 o'clock tonight on Showtime. The first edition of 2017's Inside the NFL with a new cast member. Ray Lewis joins Boomer and Phil and James. So enjoy that tonight, or at least get the rerun of it. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 6.
Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Keep an eye on Hurricane Irma. Make sure that you're ready just in case she decides to turn north and hits the eastern seaboard. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow morning. As always, New York.
Stay classy.
Stay woke.